Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another wild, crazy, well, lately it hasn't even been death-defying. There's just been death edition of Crime and Sports. A wild one this week, as always. Hope you've enjoyed recently, because we've doubled down our efforts here recently. We hope you've enjoyed them, especially the last few. That Anderson story. Tim Doc Anderson, if you missed last week, you really should listen to that, and probably listen to the one before it, too, because it leads in that they're all connected.
199 to 200.
They're connected, so check those out. Listen to that. But thank you guys for everything you've done for us this week and every week ever, honestly, for the last 4 years.
One more again.
Thank you guys for everything, though, honestly. If you haven't yet, please get on the purple icon, Apple Podcast there. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. We don't understand why it helps, but it does. It's not our doing. Put it that way. It's their funky algorithm that helps drive you up the charts. We really have nothing to do with it. But thanks for everyone who has done that. And if you haven't, do that, please. Doesn't matter what you say. Say you're following instructions, following directions, whatever you want. Doesn't matter.
Like you don't have time.
That's right. Yeah. Right. You know what? This is the time to do it. Yeah. You got plenty of time. Give us 5 stars. There you go. Hit up Small Town Murder while you're at it. Speaking of that, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your crime and sports and small town murder needs. And if you haven't listened to Small Town Murder, start now, because I don't know what you've been doing. If you like crime and sports and you like the rhythm that we do here, it's that with a murder. So check it out. We make fun of a small town as well. Yeah. It's fun stuff. Check out Small Town Murder. All the merchandise, tickets to live shows. I mean, I don't know.
At some point.
Well, at some point, we'll have live shows. If you buy them, then you'll have them for then. We don't know when that is. Pretty sure, the end of the year, you'll probably still be good, maybe.
Hopefully.
Nothing can survive in Minneapolis in December, that's not
or everything
human
does.
and in a parka. So I assume at least it'll be in high dormant. Whatever's there will be dormant. I don't know.
Jesus
so get your tickets or don't. I don't know. Try to get your tickets. Yeah, who knows? So, but we're taking a break today. This is everybody's break, and we're gonna see how someone has destroyed their life otherwise, and that'll make us all feel better.
And they didn't need a virus to do it.
At least we're not this guy. Right. That's the best way to look at it. No matter what, you're not this fucking guy, right. And he did this voluntarily. So that's what that is. Check that out, obviously. And if you want to be a hero of ours, a producer who we're going to talk about at the end of the show, these are the best people in the world. They keep this show going, and they're just amazing people, and we're going to gush about them and tell you how amazing they are. If you want to be one of these people, you can do it very easily over at patreon.com/crimeinsports, or head over to PayPal. Use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. We really appreciate everything everybody's done for us recently and of all time, honestly. But thank you for that. Next week, we're going to put up some sort of bonus crime and sports stuff. Also, next week we'll do that. This week there'll be a small town murder bonus. Next week we'll do some crime and sports bonus. There's going to be a lot of bonus stuff coming up on Patreon in the next few weeks here. So get on that. Check that out. Also, listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie with me and my wife, Sarah Hunt, where we make fun of romantic comedies. And we came back last Friday with Blast from the Past and made fun of that. The probably the most extreme self-quarantine in the history of the film, I would say. Locking yourself in a bomb shelter for 30 years.
Is that what he does?
With Christopher Walken.
You've
never seen Blast?
Never.
That's amazing.
No.
But yeah, Blast from the Past. Yeah, they go, it's got Christopher Walken and Sissy Spacek are his parents there, and they
Do
think...
I know who she is?
Sissy, it's Carrie.
Oh, Jesus,
Carrie
really?
You made a Carrie reference last week.
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
Yeah, Sissy Spacek.
I don't know names.
So, you know who Christopher Walken is?
I do.
Okay, there we go. That's
Just
better.
because everybody does it.
Played for the Expos, I believe. So
he sure did.
check that out. Every Friday that comes out. A lot of fun. There's about 32
Young.
episodes up there. So, P.S. I hate this movie. Besides that, let's get into this, man, because
Right.
we have quite the tale before you today.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the show, if you're interested, we're going to have a little ranty, pissy, moany thing going on, just to take, not about you guys or anything, about just other stuff that
this world.
business things.
Yeah.
So if you care about the show at all, if you care about that kind of stuff, we'll complain later on. It'll be fun. But let's get right into this with our the man of the hour, I guess we'll say here. It's Steve Francis. Remember little Stevie Francis there
The
at
only
basketball?
one I know is the one that ran Girls Gone Wild.
I think that's Joe Francis.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that's not Steve
See, I
Francis.
told you I was bad at names.
Steve, that's real bad names. He also played for the Expos. So
That
Steve,
guy's a piece of shit.
Steve Francis, the basketball player.
I gotta know who he is.
You definitely
right?
know who he is.
Who
Yeah.
did he play for?
The Rockets mainly.
Point
guard, little point guard, number 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Little Stephen Deshaun Francis, to be exact here. Steve Francis, or Stevie Franchise, as they called him a little bit.
That's right.
And I was like, why?
I do remember
that.
that.
Yeah. So,
and he wasn't even that good.
He's okay.
He's fine. He's serviceable.
Yeah, we'll get into his skill sets, but yeah, he's okay. He had an interesting life, though, old Stevie Francis, and I didn't even realize that he's kind of really fallen apart the last decade or so. It's not going well for little Stevie Francis. This is a guy who hit Grace and shit, just the floor fell out for him. It's really fucking sad here. So let's get into it. Born February 21st.
Yeah.
February 21st. It's a new day we came up with.
It's in the leap year.
It's the 29th when it's not leap year.
Right.
It's those other 3 that's February 21st. That's what they call that, I believe. It's
Right.
off year, leap year day. So February 21st, 1977 he's born.
Okay.
Born in Silver Spring, Maryland. Where
Really?
I believe we have a show there.
Yeah,
maybe
we're
this
playing
year at some
the
point.
Fillmore there, aren't we?
Yeah, I believe we're there. That's where he's born. We like Silver Spring. It's
beautiful.
nice there. Nice little place there.
Yeah.
That's where he's born. Grows up in this area, this D.C. kind of Baltimore area in the 80s and 90s, and this is not great times. Watch The Wire, and then it was even worse because it was a little earlier. So before
One of these days I will.
it's bad stuff. So he's born there. Now I got to give this one thing credit. This article on the playerstribune.com. It's not really an article. It's essentially just letting Steve tell his story,
really?
Type of thing. So a lot of this, I got a lot of his like early life in his own words. We'll do some in their own words on this, but he says his very first memory in life. You know what? Let's do it in their own words right off the bat, because
Let him have it.
this sets it up right here. I think. Let's go ahead and let Stevie set up his life here in their own words. Quote: "My very first memory in life is visiting my father in the federal pen on cookout day and having a police officer take me and my mother into a little holding room. They strip searched both of us. I was like 3 years old. Didn't matter. Pull his pants down."
What?
So that's how we'll set up Steve Francis's life there. That's something. There's something there.
Unreal.
That's your first memory.
Squat and cough, toddler.
Yeah, let's go, Chief. Only a Hot Wheels came out. Is Hot Wheels considered contraband? You can't take the Hot Wheels.
It's a Corvette.
I'm sorry. I think it's got Coke in the trunk of it. Let's not do it.
Unreal.
But he said that's how people he says that's how people used to sneak drugs into the prisons
Through toddlers.
They put them in their kids.
Sense.
Yeah, they're
Throw it in
searched
a
less
diaper, yeah.
generally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, generally that's a thing. Remember in Goodfellas, they would pack the Coke with the baby. That's why they'd have the babysitter who would borrow babies. Now, how coked out do you have to be be like, yeah, sure, borrow my baby to smuggle cocaine to another city? That sounds terrific. Yeah. You know what? Good idea.
Right?
Good idea, right? Yeah, you're not going to sell him for more, right? When you were over there. I lost him. I don't know.
Very trusting.
Borrow him. You can borrow a baby. I won't let anybody borrow my car. Never mind a child for something. That's Can you imagine that? You can borrow a DVD.
Yeah,
you can borrow like an old, hey,
yeah.
this isn't streaming anywhere. You want to buy it? That's fine.
I can't think of much that I borrow out ever.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, get your own thing. I don't know what we're talking about here, but kid, you can't just borrow out kids for that. Jesus Christ. He said that his dad was in there for 20 years for bank robbery.
Wow.
Yeah, he said that he called it the old school 80s era heat ski mask stick up hustle. He called it.
That's not what? That's not a hustle. That's fucking violence.
Dude, that used to be a hustle back then.
Is that a hustle?
Yeah, it is actually. There's people on. Okay,
ski mask Heat, James, the movie,
like the movie Heat. Yeah,
that's fucking murder. Is what that movie is.
Exactly. That's crazy. But there's different types of street dudes back in the day a little bit, and I'm not sure about now because I'm not really doing much out. Right. I'm not out much in the
not running the streets
environs anymore. But like, you had different types of people that did different shit to make money. You had people who sold drugs. That was one thing. You had your drug dealer people. Your drug dealer people weren't usually your stick up people because they had their own thing going on. Then you had people who their thing that they did, what do you do for a living? I'm a stick-up guy.
Right.
That's what they did.
I just rob people.
They straight up just rob people all the time. They rob drug dealers. You got your Omars. Yeah. You got people that would rob stores and people like that. You got people that would try to rob, individuals. They'd go down fucking. So there are just different ways of doing it. And his dad happened to be of the stick-up variety.
Robbing banks.
Folks. Yeah, robbing banks, which is your escalation. I robbed this guy for $50. You know where money is.
I get ski mask hustle, robbing random people that you know that they have some loot on them.
Yeah.
But robbing a fucking bank, that's crazy.
That's... Bank robberies, there are crews that rob banks currently even.
Really?
Absolutely, because if as long as you don't show your face on the camera, no one's going to stop you from robbing a bank. Yeah. They're going to give you the money and let you walk out. That's all insured, and that's what they're told to do. They're not nobody try to stop anybody. None of that shit exists. You leave, and unless a cop happens to be driving by, if you can get in your car and get away, you'll probably get. Most bank robberies don't get caught. Wow. That's the thing. It's like 80% is your success rate on bank robberies.
That's crazy. Which is high.
It seems like you're going to probably get away with it. But if you do it 10 times, you're probably going to get caught eventually.
That's getting caught. That's
the thing. Yeah. But if you're good, you got to think those 20 people are probably idiots too. That 20% are probably people that went in with no mask on, nothing, and were just like, "I'm Sean, give me your money." Like, what? What are you talking about?
Here's my ID and my account. Now give me all the money out of the other.
Put it all in my account. All the money you have, I'd like it all transferred into my account right now.
Debit cards here it is.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. You're going to send that. You have my address, right? Those checks better be there. I want the ones with the balloons on them. So, he said that his dad was a known guy in D.C., and so are his older brothers. Okay. Steve's the youngest of a bunch of siblings, and everybody else runs the streets pretty hard in front of him, especially the very hard Erica, 70s, 80s, 90s, and D.C. is just, once crack exploded in the 80s, D.C. really, really fell apart here. He said that he was small always. Yeah. He always was small. He grows up to be 6'3".
He was 6'3"?
Yeah, which he doesn't look like it playing. Yes. Yeah. It's funny. He's one of those guys like Steve Nash, you see. And you're like, oh, look, tiny little Steve Nash, tiny little Steve Francis. 6'3", 6'4", 6'2". They're like big people in normal at the grocery store. It's a big dude. But in basketball, it's,
he's standing next to
Hakeem Olajuwon. You look smaller. It's one of those things.
Otis Thorpe.
Yeah. Otis Thorpe's going to make most people look small. That's just how it is. It's
a big man.
It's just life, man. Right. So he said he was small, and he said that his mother and father, when they split up when his father was in prison, he said that her brother, the parents basically told his older brothers not to let Steve do that shit. He said, quote, "Not Steve, never Steve. He's got to be different." They want, because he was the youngest by a lot there. So he said that just growing up in D.C. was really rough. His mother was a nurse. She got remarried to a guy who was a good guy. He said he was a garbage collector, so he was not a stick-up guy or anything. He's a honest hard worker. Yeah, he's like Charles Dutton from that Rock show from the remember Rock. That's what I picture, because he was a Baltimore garbage man. So I just pictured Rock.
Charles S. Dutton.
Steve, get in the house, damn it, with his bald head. yelling at him and shit.
Every time I saw that guy, I now when I see the Geico gecko, I think of Charles S. Dutton because they have the same lips and the face. He looks like a little gecko. He's adorable. Because he's never. I don't see him with hair. I'm sure he had hair at some point in his life.
Let's back this up. I believe, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I'm going to say that at least since he's been, I would say since puberty, Charles S. Dutton has never
had hair.
Ever been called adorable. That word's never been used to describe him once. Ever used to describe him.
I see him as a gecko. He's adorable.
Adorable. All right.
Adorable little lizard.
You want a little English accent to come out of his mouth? Okay. I could see it. I like it. So, he said his stepdad's a garbage collector. He is a gecko who is named Rock and drives a truck and lives in Baltimore. And he says that, I'll let him, I'll quote him on this. Quote, "We had 18 people living in a 3-bedroom apartment and food stamps weren't cutting it." Oh. So it's literally, I think that's a Ghostface Killer lyric too. 18 of us in a 3-bedroom apartment, roaches everywhere, cousins and aunts were there. I think that's a Ghostface Killer lyric.
And then he threw in food stamps ain't cutting it.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was 16 or 18 in the Ghostface song, but
it's hilarious.
It's fucking close. I think he might be quoting Ghostface Killer. I don't know if that's true or not, but it might just be a similar experience. He said, so when I was a little kid, I was out on the corners with my friends trying to hang with all the older guys, trying to make some pocket money so I could make some so I could buy some now and laters or something.
Oh, I thought he said now or laters.
No.
I wish he did.
Now and laters candy. That's the other thing. That's how kids get involved in this shit, is they come up, they're running around. Mm-hmm. Older dudes look pretty fucking cool, especially because they have money and you are on fucking food stamps, and that's shit. So drug dudes, dealers will have little kids be runners and shit like that. Start out, yo, go get me a sandwich, and then they'll give them $5 or some shit like that, which is a lot to a little kid who's poor as fuck. So that's how they get involved in it.
Keep the change.
Yo, let's take them shopping. We'll get them some sneakers or some shit like that, and it becomes like almost like indentured servitude with these fucking kids, because they don't. Well, they treat them like, it's funny. Prodigy from Mobb Deep, in his book, he was writing about it, talking about how these kids, when he was little, how watching other kids get involved. And he said basically these dudes were like pimping them, because it was like, you give them, we keep them looking nice, pretty and all that, but no dough. He goes, that's what it was. It was like, you don't get money. They'll take you shopping every couple weeks and get you some new sneakers and shit like that, but you got no money in your pocket to keep you there.
That's comedy.
That's comedy.
Yeah.
Drug dealing, professional wrestling, and stand-up comedy are so similar. It's absolutely fucking disturbing.
They just run down the track side by side
with carrot, chasing the same carrot. I feel like it's the same dirty carrot. They just switch it from track to track every once in a while.
You could call each horse in the horse race comedy, professional wrestling, and then just running down the street, going to get that fucking carrot
with a tiny man whipping him on his back. That's how it would really be. That would really make it perfect, actually. Yeah. So we can all relate to this then, if you're in these. So he said, quote, "When I was 10 years old, I got my first job as a phone boy."
Yeah.
Now, phone boy, he said, he'd wait outside the Chinese restaurant and sit on the curb by the payphone, just sitting there, because he's like 10 years old, and he's a small 10-year-old too. I've seen pictures of him as a little kid.
Yeah.
He's the most innocent looking, cherubic little motherfucker you ever saw in your life. You see him, you just want to pinch his little cheeks. You little cute little motherfucker. Look at you. Look at you, you cute kid.
He's adorable.
He's adorable. He's tiny. He's got cheeks. You're like, look at him. He's a cute little guy.
Right.
He looks adorable as shit.
Can he just answer the phone all day?
And he said, the phone, whenever the phone would ring, he said it was always people looking for drugs, looking for girls, looking for whatever. I'd tell them where to meet the dealers, and that was it.
How about
so
that?
He was like the receptionist. Yeah. He's the drug dealer receptionist. That's what he was. Fucking answers the phone. Crack Co. He's like,
Stevie Francis, how may I direct your call?
Whore department. How may I direct? Oh, you'd like 2 whore. Oh, how cracky would you like them? Extra cracky. Okay, they're working on that right now. Jeez.
What a job.
What a job, yeah.
No 401k, but it's got its perks.
It's not bad. It's just sitting on the curb.
Yeah.
I guess you get to smell Chinese food, which always smells good.
Yeah,
so what the
sometimes.
hell? Sometimes, unless after they throw it out.
Right.
You will get no worse smell than a dumpster behind a Chinese restaurant. I don't know what happens when the Chinese food rots, but it turns fucking aggressive and vicious and permeates.
Also Mexican food.
Oh,
there is something about refried beans.
There's beans in that.
Yeah, when that starts to turn, bro, what is that?
They're hard to make turn.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Right.
You could let them sit out, get rock hard. You just put a drop of water on them, throw them in the microwave. They'll be exactly the same again. Once they turn,
oh boy,
it's over.
They've turned.
No, they've turned. No, it's like being married to an Italian woman. She'll be on your side, but once it's hard to get her to turn. Once she turns, she'll stab you.
You'll never get her back.
It's going to be aggressive. Take everything and stab you. So it's tough. So he said he did this all day and all night. Basically, he said it would be 50 drug dealers standing outside on one corner and 50 drug dealers standing on another corner, and then Lil Steve posted up by the payphone.
Just safe.
Little receptionist kid, that's all. He said, though, there wasn't anything to do, so because he was bored, he would shoot a basketball into the top of the phone booth. He said so.
A little foam one?
No, real basketball.
An actual?
Yeah, because he's dribbling around. He's just standing around, so he's got nothing better to do but dribble. He said, so we ripped off the roof, so there was just enough room to squeeze a ball through, but it was a square, so you had to swish it perfect with a real high arc. Even if you did, it used to rattle in against the sides of the booth.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, they just took the top of the phone booth off and made it a little basket. He made a little basketball hoop for himself. So yeah, which is it's a good practice for it. That's more difficult than a basket, you know.
Right.
He said I'd be out there all night crossing over, stepping back, and just doing moves and nothing better to do.
Into a phone booth.
Yeah, just bored, you know. He said I shot 1 million jumpers on that phone booth. He said that he would be a lot of times he was like trying to his teachers and truant officers and shit would be looking for kids, and he said he'd be ducking his teachers. He said he was really ducking his older brothers though and his mother because he didn't want them to. They thought he was doing better and everything. He said I was hiding from them, but I was still doing good in school when I showed up. So he's trying to live like a double life here and like kind of work at night and go to school and at 10.
That's exhausting.
It sounds a lot, yeah.
And then dunking on a mountain bell. That's, Jesus, all day long?
Dunking on, that's it, all day, just shooting jumpers. He said, so I was just little Steve with the basketball to almost everybody in the neighborhood. And he said that he would ask his grandmother to measure him with a pencil every single day. He said he'd mark it on the wall, and he said, I just wasn't getting any taller. 12, 13 years old, still not growing.
Just a really bold black mark in one spot.
Yeah, try again. No, mark me up. I felt something last night. I felt a twitch in my heels. I think there's something.
Every day. Good God.
He said he showed up to basketball tryouts on the first day of high school, and he thought, I'm going to do great here. I got crossover. My booth shot is unprecedented. It's way better than anybody else. He said, and they cut him though.
Yeah.
So they wanted him to play JV because he was short, basically, which, he said that crushed me. I walked off the court and I never played high school ball again except for 2 games.
Really?
Yeah, this is what gets very, very interesting here. His high school thing, he doesn't really play high school basketball.
How do you get into college?
Well, AAU. High school means nothing now. All high school is for basketball players is a showcase so the AAU coaches can find you and bring you into these. The McDonald's All-American game, this game, all these AAU tournament games, all that shit. That's where all the college coaches and the NBA scouts are. Okay. They're there. So that rather than go to every bumfuck high school in the country, I heard.
Send me 2 of your best.
Yeah, I hear there's a tall kid in Western, Montana. Like, rather than that, have them all on the court at the same time, and they have all these games, all these weekends, these AAU tournaments, and everybody gets seen, and that's how it works. So that's the game now. It doesn't matter if you play high school or not, as long as you get on these teams. And he said that he played a little bit for an AAU team, and he played pickup ball a lot, and that was it. He was playing. He said that it was very complicated, and he should have worked harder at basketball, but he said it was really difficult. He said they were moving a lot. He went to 6 different high schools just from having to move for whatever reasons, financial and things like that. So it's tough. He says, I remember telling people, quote, I'm going to marry Janet Jackson one day. They have to think of when this is.
Yeah, that's lofty goals.
This is like 1994 when she was on that Rolling Stone cover with the hands over her boobs, where she was, you know.
And then she was in the music video with her brother, and she fucking pulled her tits apart. That was hot. Oh, my God. I lost my mind. I was like, what did she just do? Go back.
Yeah, hey, what was that?
Why can't we rewind this yet?
Why is there no DVR? Someone invent that shit. This sucks.
Now I got to sit around for 3 hours and then play this video again.
It's coming back. Fuck. He said, Janet Jackson was the flyest girl in the world to me, but I'm 15 years old, on food stamps, small as hell, growing up around crack addicts, and I can't even play high school ball. How am I going to get out of here and see what's up with Janet? I don't know why I thought that was a great quote from him.
That is brilliant.
How am I going to get out of here and see what's up with Janet? Yo, Janet! Unless she calls the phone by the Chinese restaurant, I really am going to have a hard time.
She's looking for a crack whore. I'm out of business.
If she is, I'm the guy then, because I'm going to guide her. Eventually, he does hit a growth spurt here, and like I said, he ends up being 6'3", so he had to have hit a growth spurt at some point. 6'3" is pretty tall. And so 1995, he says, is really when things got... when he had to really kind of evaluate his life at 95. He's about 18 years old. He at Tacoma Park, Maryland is where he lived. And he said he was on the corner. He said he was selling drugs outside a Chinese restaurant. He said he was selling crack. Selling crack. I mean, what else are you going to do? He said this is right after, in late 1994, his mother passed away from cancer. Very young, too, in her early 40s, which is unexpected and obviously brutal no matter what, but really unexpected if you're a teenager also. So it's tough. And his father's in the federal lockup still. So, you know, there's a lot of, that's not good. And he said that's at this point too, he's got all sorts of, living in an apartment with lots of people. He's selling crack. He dropped out of high school at that point. He's got, you know, there's no college coaches banging on his door. He doesn't have a big pile of letters for scholarships where people are recruiting him, or he's got none of that shit. He's just a kid that sells crack that's pretty good at basketball. Right. Which there's a lot of those. So it's, you know, he thought he was just going to be another guy who was a good street baller and selling crack, and that's it. And he doesn't even have a GED, he said. He's got nothing at this point. So, and, you know, this is 1995. He said at this point, he's watching Allen Iverson play for Georgetown right up the road. And Allen Iverson was ridiculous in college. He was so good.
He was so good in the pros. I mean,
he's fucking great. Allen Iverson's amazing. Ever. He's nasty.
He might be the best point guard ever.
No.
Point guard?
No, not as a point guard. No, he's too much of a scorer for a point guard.
Was he a shooting guard? Did he play shooting guard?
Essentially, he played. Okay.
No, he played point, right?
But he'd be in the lineup at point, but he'd essentially be a shooting guard because he'd take the ball up the court and he'd shoot so fucking much.
His dribbles.
He was amazing. Yeah. He was so fucking good. He could penetrate like nobody's business, and he was great. But it's great point guards. I think I got to stick with
Magic.
I think it's kind of hard to beat a guy who can beat you in any way he wants to, and is 6'9".
It's a good point.
It's tough. Yeah. It's real tough. And Oscar Robertson just triple doubles while he was doing it. You know.
Everybody always forgets about him.
You forget about him.
You forget that was his career.
I mean, a lot of the guys he was playing against were like fucking white and stiff back then, but still.
To average a dribble over the career, that's insane.
It's pretty nasty. Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. There's been some pretty goddamn good point guards out there, but he's not bad. Iverson's nasty. It was for a whole season. Which,
not career.
Not career. Yeah. So.
Wait a minute, dummy.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Jesus
That's a lot.
So he said, Iverson's doing great. And he said, I'm standing on the corner all day building my little drug empire, just trying not to get robbed. And then at night I'm playing pickup ball in the basement of a firehouse. So that's what he's doing to play ball. He said he got robbed tons of times at gunpoint, as drug dealers do. Yeah. He said, I got my ass beat a million times. I saw drive-bys. But honestly, if you asked me what really scared me the most, it wasn't the guns. Shootings were almost natural. I mean, what do you think is going to happen when you're in the streets? The scariest thing was the drugs, the needles, the pipes, the PCP. People slumped over with that look in their eyes. It was everywhere. These are regular people, nurses, teachers, mailmen, the mayor of D.C., Marion Barry. That's what you have to remember. Right. If you're young, like Marion Barry was the goddamn mayor of D.C. that got caught smoking crack in a hotel room with prostitutes.
And then got reelected?
Got reelected.
Unbelievable.
Because people were like, I get it.
I mean, everybody else is doing it too.
He was like,
my mom's on it.
Yeah, how are you going to judge me? You all got problems too. And they were like, I do. Yeah, you're right. you know what?
Vote for him.
Fuck it. And they vote. Yeah, it happens. So, whatever. He said, quote, it was the zombie apocalypse. That's what he called it. It really is. It's a shit time to be a kid that has nothing. Right. He said, though, for him, it was just, he didn't know what to do. He wanted to play basketball, but he had no way to do it. He said the only thing that saved him was something that his AAU coach, Tony Langley, said to him. I guess this guy was a retired cop, his AAU coach. And he said, he used to say, quote, I'm telling you how it's going to go, Steve. 10 years from now, you're going to see the same guys on these same corners doing the same shit. And they're going to be wearing the newest Fila's or the newest Jordans, looking fresh. But you're going to look at them and they're going to be another year older and then another year older, still doing the same shit, still getting robbed every single day. You can do something different. Good advice. Not bad. It is good advice and also too, you're always going to, you're going to end up in jail. You're going to, it's not just, I'm going to sell drugs long term is a bad career plan.
It's not, yeah. There's not very much longevity.
No, it's not like, hey, I'm going to do this until this and that. There's no, like, I'm saving up to open a laundromat or something. Like,
There's no one big score.
I'm opening a kebab stand. Right. I'm going to save up for that. And once I get that, then I'm all kebabs at that point. I'm off the drug. No one's doing that. No. They're just surviving. Yeah. So it's difficult. Finally, though, he said that, or with the college guy, he said that rang in my head and I couldn't stop thinking about it, at all. He kept thinking about that guy telling him that. His grandmother ended up helping him come up with a little bit of money to be able to attend a private high school in Connecticut. Okay. So I guess he got partial scholarship for basketball and a little bit of money he had to pay. But after a couple months, he ran out of money and couldn't cover the tuition. And so he dropped out of high school completely after that. But he did have an opportunity to go to college. It was a junior college called San Jacinto College in Texas. Yeah. Or Jacinto, but it's probably Jacinto.
It's Jacinto.
I know it is, but I don't know if they pronounce it wrong.
Oh, those motherfuckers.
I got told last week the word humble doesn't have a fucking H on it by people in Texas, so fuck you. People had the balls to say, it's pronounced humble. No, it's not. You know what it's pronounced like? The way that the rest of the world pronounces it, you dumb fucking shit-kicking assholes. You don't get to pick how you pronounce words. There's 14,000 people there. Right. They're going to tell the rest of the 6 billion fucking people how a word is pronounced? Yeah. No.
So this is San Jacinto.
Yeah, it's San Jacinto College. San Jacinto. San Jacinto College. It's over there at San Jacinto in Texas. He said that one of the coaches had seen him play in an AAU tournament. Sure. In an AAU is really hard to say.
It's brutal.
In a tournament there. And so they, junior colleges are looking for talent, basically. Yeah. Any raw talent they'll take because they're not really getting the cream of the crop. Mm-hmm. So if you can get a kid that's talented but slip through the cracks, fucking A, this is a score for Steve Francis. So he said they told him they had a roster spot and he was like, he didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. He's like, it's junior college and it's in Texas, but it's better than selling crack, probably.
That's a good point.
He said his grandmother convinced him that that's what she wanted, and that's what his mother would have wanted for him, he said. So he said he gave in, got his GED. His grandmother gave him $400 and a plane ticket to go to Houston to be there.
One way.
The
fuck out.
Have fun in Houston.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to college. He said the coaches picked him up at the airport, and he said it's the same airport where the coaches from the University of Houston picked up Hakeem Olajuwon when he came from Nigeria.
Same
back
day.
In the day. Yeah, same gate.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
So he said, honestly, quote, and honestly, I was probably just as shell-shocked as he was. It was 30,000 white people and your boy Steve. Total culture shock. But I finally had some stability. I don't know where San Jacinto is, but Houston's got a shitload of black people in it.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, yeah.
I mean, it's where
it's not all white people.
A huge, and at that time, there's a huge hip-hop thing
Maybe
there.
maybe he means where this college is.
Maybe
30,000 is like
that's where Pimp C's from.
Oh, yeah,
all kind of people.
Yeah, we've been to Houston.
Yeah.
There's a couple of black people there.
It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. So he said though, but he loved it because culture shock or not, he felt stable. He said he had a bed and a roster spot. And he was like, "This is great. Yeah. Fuck, there's not 8 other people in this room. That's pretty cool. I like that." And if they are, they're just basketball players. None of them are on crack or anything. That helps. And he went out and he said, quote, "I'm telling you, I went out there and killed it. Ask Sean Marion." If you don't know who Sean Marion is, he's a really great NBA player who was also a really good college player.
And also maybe the ugliest shot ever in the NBA.
Very ugly and somehow extremely effective.
Somehow went in. How the fuck?
I met him right after he got drafted.
Yeah.
I worked at the bar down in downtown Phoenix, and they brought him in there to he was the tallest, thinnest person I've ever seen in my life at the time. He had later on he was like muscular.
He started to build up.
He had like no muscle mass. He was like 6 inches wide. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, but 9 feet tall. Right. Very straight. It made him look even taller.
That's a phenomenon about you too, that because you're not fucking jacked up and not fat, you're in good shape, but you're not.
Yeah, you look a lot thinner. That's why you don't see tall bodybuilders very often. And when you do see them, they're twice as jacked as the other guy.
Horrifying.
Yeah, they have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 70s because otherwise you just don't look tall. You just don't look big because you're tall.
I don't know how, to this day, it still baffles me how Sean Marion was successful. Just looking at the mechanics of the way he plays basketball.
He was awesome.
It doesn't make sense.
No, it really doesn't.
And then every time the ball goes in.
It's like he learned to play basketball on another planet or like in a vacuum just on his own. Like, no, he never saw it before. Someone gave him a hoop and a ball and he was like, all right, they didn't teach him anything. Right. But over time of just having the hoop and the ball, he figured out how to get it in every time, just not in any other way anyone else has ever tried.
Worst, ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That worked.
Then it worked. So he says, go ahead and ask him about Sean Marion. He was a JUCO All-American. He was supposed to be the guy. And we went there to Indiana and I murdered him. I got a quadruple double on his ass. I remember when we both got to the NBA, we were laughing about it during some shoot around. And he told me that he's actually got the VHS tape of the game somewhere at his house. That tape exists. And then later on in an interview when this comes out, he says, for 20 years, I've been asking Sean where the hell that tape is. And he's been ducking me. So
he wants it.
He wants the tape. So yeah, he said, it's basically community college, junior college. So, but he's doing well and he's feeling good. He felt, but he wanted to be on a real campus. He wanted to be, in the big time as anybody would be. He wanted to go to like Georgetown or Maryland or somewhere like that. 97, he said, is where he decided to really, the basketball was his thing and he had to concentrate. He went back to Tacoma Park. And he said he was back from Texas there for a couple days. And he said, to be honest, I was homesick as hell down there in Texas. I was crying every day, telling the coaches I wanted to quit and go home, back to my family, back to the block, back to selling drugs, back to the same bullshit, every day and forever. But that's what I knew. He says, so I go on a break and everybody's like, oh, you think you're the man now? All right, college boy, we'll see how good you are. And he said, they put me up against Greg Jones, the number one guy in D.C. at the time. It was a dope boy game. That means 50 guys on one side of the court with AK-47s and 50 guys on the other side of the court with AK-47s. They all had $10,000 on the game, one-on-one, best of 3. So this is like on The Wire when they have the East Side, West Side basketball game, and it's people bet huge fucking money on these games, and that's been going on for years.
Why would you want to play in that?
That's stressful. Sounds stressful.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. He says, quote, you can't say no.
Okay.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
I'm going back to his quadruple double. Does that points, assists,
could
steals?
Be steals, blocks.
It can't be blocks, right? Because
I would think not. It's got to be steals.
6'3", Sean Marion 6'9".
Yeah, he's probably tapping that ball away from him.
It's got to be, right?
It has to be. That's
been bugging me ever since.
It's got to be steals. Yeah, has to be.
It's working him for sure.
It's working him over no matter what.
I want that tape too.
No shit. I want to see that. Yeah, no, never mind. It's a junior college basketball game. It's got to be
1995.
Super boring. He said, well, I played the first game and I killed his ass. The second game starts and I could have killed his ass again. For a minute, I was thinking about it. I could have been the man in D.C. I could have been a street legend. I could have beat him and made some money and stayed on the block where I felt comfortable. I could have stayed in the box. But I wanted more. I wanted something different. I wanted to marry Janet Jackson. Okay?
That's right.
He said, so I let him win the second game. And then I took the ball and threw it over the backboard and walked off the court. I got back on a plane to my community college in Texas, and I killed Sean Marion's ass instead. So he realized that he didn't give a shit about being hot shit on the block anymore. Yeah. That didn't matter. And so it made him less homesick, basically, to see this is too much for me here. So he plays there, and if you play well in junior college, you will have major colleges sniffing around you. And he did. He said he had, later on, he's had big-time coaches like John Thompson from Georgetown calling about him. He said Oklahoma and Clemson were coming after him. He said, but I'd grown up watching Len Bias and Patrick Ewing. For me, it was either Maryland or Georgetown, period. Makes sense. He said it was almost Georgetown, but I'll never forget the conversation I had with John Thompson. He's the coach, and if you don't know John Thompson, and he is one of the most intimidating human beings that's ever walked the earth. Have you ever seen, what I'm talking about?
No.
He's a giant. He's a giant, first of all.
Coach of Georgetown?
Yeah, he's a 6'9". I don't think he's still there.
Did he coach Patrick Ewing?
Yeah, in the 80s.
Yeah, I know
6'9", huge too. I mean, he's like Suge Knight size. Right. This big, giant Suge Knight size dude with a fucking voice that it's just deep. Yeah. Everything he says is deep. It's like, whoa. He could yell at anybody and they'd go, huh? And they'd stop and be like, I'm sorry, Dad. Yeah. Like, he's scary, man.
He made Patrick Ewing step in line.
Oh, he could scare Patrick Ewing. He's a scary motherfucker, John Thompson. He just seems like everybody's dad that will whoop your fucking ass at the drop of a hat. He's just tough.
He's like Uncle Phil from what is that? Fresh Prince.
If he had hair and was threatening looking, much bigger too. Right. He's just a big dude. So he's nothing like him except Uncle Phil's kind of black, and John Thompson's black too. That's other than that, they're nothing alike. But yeah, he's not kind of black. He's just light.
He's pretty black. He's lighter than, just barely black.
No, if you saw John Thompson, you go, oh Jesus, compared to him.
But Uncle Phil did not act very.
Well, Uncle Phil was the whole point of his character. Was I'm in Beverly Hills,
right?
Or wherever the fuck it was. Yeah.
I think it was Beverly
Hills. Bel Air. Bel Air. The whole fucking show is Prince of Bel Air. Okay then.
Unbelievable. That was great.
All right, then. So, he said he'll never forget the conversation he had with John Thompson. He said, quote, Steve, we like you. We do. But I just had Allen Iverson. I can't have you right after Allen. I just can't have it. Steve, I'll have a heart attack. Like, it's just too much.
Right.
Just too much. I need to have
dealt with practice.
Yeah, I can't do it. He said, quote, I respected it. He was right. He saw all those hangers-on who were around Allen all the time at Georgetown. He knew they'd just be waiting for me to come through. So my junior year, when I was already 21, I transferred to Maryland. So he ends up in Maryland, which is a huge program.
But it's back home.
It's back home, though. That's the problem.
He got away from all this shit.
He did, but he does really well here, though. He kind of stays away from shit. And he hangs out with people, but keeps it separate from the court here. And at Maryland that year, they go 28-6. So it's a pretty good team. They're the number 2 seed in the tournament in their bracket. They won against Valparaiso in the first round, beat Creighton in the second round, and then lost to St. John's in the third round. So they go a little bit into it there. Steve plays 31 minutes a game, and he's pretty goddamn nasty, I got to say, for what he is here. What's he got? 31, 6 field goals, not bad. Over 50% field goal percentage. So, Steve's killing it. 17 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 2.8 steals.
Is he playing point?
He's playing point guard. Yeah. So, I mean, those are damn good numbers there. Right. It's not bad. He said his stepfather got a job on campus as the guy working the ticket booth inside the park and ride thing. So, the parking area for there.
Right around the corner.
Which is, that's interesting. They get Steve in there. They hire his stepdad. Right. These are things that would be NCAA violations. Right. You can't hire people.
Can't benefit the family.
They do. So, but I'm glad they do that. Sure. They fucking should. Yeah. You can't pay the kid. Let his fucking stepdad work there and pay him twice as much. Wow. He's the highest paid ticket taker in a parking booth ever. He makes $150,000 a year. Yes, he does.
And you match his 401k? That's
amazing.
Crazy.
Fucking amazing. Jesus Christ. He said, one day I'm coming back from practice and I go over and see him and some frat boy dudes are walking out like, yo, Steve Francis, dude, your dad is the man. He thought they were like, you're the man. Your dad. He goes, what are you talking about? And they said, yeah, dude, he let us in for free. He's so cool. He's saying he's your dad. So he's like, okay. He goes, I walk into the park and ride and my stepdad's got a whole tailgate thing going. He's holding court in there.
Hell yeah.
He's got his little TV inside the booth. He's got his potato chips and all these people are standing around drinking beers, talking basketball with him. He set up a fucking whole, like a little watch party there.
Oh, this is great.
He said, man, he's even got my little sister in there chilling with him and her toy poodle. Precious. It was a whole scene. He sees me walking up with the Terps hoodie on, and I've never seen somebody so proud. He says to everybody, that's my son. That's my boy. University of Maryland. Shit. He's proud. I love it. That's a great quote. That's fucking awesome.
Those are quotes like that bowler that.
Yeah.
Say it again. Go ahead.
That's my son. That's my boy. University of Maryland. Shit. That's right. God damn it.
Just like random words that he just throws together and puts shit on the end.
That's like, yeah.
University of Maryland. Shit.
Shit. That's like James Brown's ha.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Shit. Shit. Right there. I think it's more like that.
Yeah.
Shit. University of Maryland. Shit. Yeah, I think it's that. I think that's
exactly what
that's what it is. Yeah. So he said that's definitely how he's letting it out. He said that he used to watch, he'd come see every home game. And then he said when they were on the road, he'd watch the TV in his booth. His father did, or stepdad. He said, it's, quote, it's funny because my biological father, he used to rob the metro stations before he got locked up. And my stepfather, he worked in one. Yeah, different. Quote, but he was an honest hustler. He became my real father. He was my best friend. He was the loudest guy in the gym.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good. And that's after his mom's dead.
Right.
So his stepdad's not like, well, fuck you then. Your mom's dead. I'm going to go stayed stuck with him. I mean, it didn't hurt.
I wonder if he retired
from
the trash collection. Probably did. Probably had, and then now he's double dipping, going back and getting another job with that income.
Yeah, either that or hopefully Maryland gave him a decent fucking paycheck.
Right. Said, you don't have to drive a truck. We can give you more than that.
Yeah, we can
sit you in a booth and watch the Tarpons games.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, your stepson here would like that.
Right.
And he does really well. 98-99. He's first team All ACC, and he is consensus All America second team. So very good player here. He said at the end of the season he was a Naismith finalist, and everybody was talking about the draft and all this type of shit. So in 1 year he got a lot of heat going.
Awesome.
And he was already 21. So this was his third year of college ball, counting the San Jacinto, San Jacinto there. So, he's ready for the draft. June 30th, 1999 is the NBA draft. And number one overall, Jimmy?
Kobe
1999.
Bryant.
No, 99. I think Kobe was 96, I think.
Was he? Oh, yeah, you're right. That was much earlier.
Yeah.
99. What? Who the hell was it?
Elton Brand.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
to
Elton
the Clippers?
Brand. Nah, to the Bulls.
To the Bulls. Were they that bad?
He went to the Clippers. Well, yeah, this was after Jordan left.
God.
They were fucking abysmal. Yeah, this was
wow, I can't even think of the NBA at this point.
This was post Jordan.
Yeah.
Because 97-98 was Jordan's last year.
Uh-huh.
So then 98-99, and then this is after that. So the Bulls that was post-Jordan
This
Rodman.
is 2 years removed from
They shed that
winning.
entire team. Yeah, that whole team, and they were the worst team in the league.
Wow.
Or one of, and then they won the lottery and won the first overall pick.
Elton Brand didn't do much in the NBA later. Number 2.
He was good.
Yeah,
he was good.
He was fine.
He's not a dominant number one overall pick,
That's
but he is a guy who played pretty good level, multiple time All-Star for like 18 years in the league. So it's not bad, but number one pick. Probably wasted your pick.
That?
Steve Francis.
Oh,
number
really?
2 overall to Vancouver.
That is impressive.
Absolutely. Vancouver, who was where Memphis used to be. Right. For some reason, they thought it'd be a good idea to expand to Vancouver. Don't understand that.
Where were the Grizzlies then?
Little Stevie Francis.
Okay.
So, yeah, little Stevie Francis going there. Number 3 overall, Baron Davis to the Hornets.
Oh, that's these guys.
That's these guys. Wally Zerbiak, number 6 overall. Let's draft a white Polish guy. That'll work. Great. Rip Hamilton. Wonderfully. Very well.
Rip Hamilton, that's a good player.
Rip Hamilton's a good player. He goes number 7, so he could have had that. He goes to the Wizards, actually, later on. Sean Marion to the Suns, number 9 overall. You got your Jason Terrys and guys like that. Corey Maggetti's in there. Also, Ron Artest, Meta World Peace. We'll have his own episode, by the way. I got that planned out. Number 16 overall. Kirilenko went 24. You got your Jeff Fosters and your, Devion Georges and your crap. You got your bench warmers.
Fuck.
End of the second round, second to last pick of the draft, Manu Ginobili to the Spurs, from Argentina, that's
a good pick.
Good, not a bad pick there, actually. And undrafted in that year, Raja Bell, who ended up being a pretty goddamn good player here. Not a whole lot, but a few decent players here. Nothing special. So he goes to Vancouver, number 2 overall. Okay. Remember Steve Francis playing for Vancouver?
No.
That's because he said, I'm not fucking playing for Vancouver.
He never played there?
No, he's like, I'm not playing there. Yeah. Well, Vancouver was in the middle of talking about moving at that point. So he's like, it's a doomed franchise. Fucking 3,000 miles away from my home. Why do I want to go there? So he publicly announced that he's not playing for the Grizzlies. He just pulled a John Elway, like, fine, you can draft me, but I'm not going there. He said he didn't want to have to make his grandmother travel all the way from Maryland to Western Canada to see him play. And
of all the people to pull a power move like that, it's Steve Francis.
Number 2 overall, you can do it, though. That's the thing.
That's some.
You project it later, it sounds silly, but at the time, hey.
Today it sounds crazy.
He's the hope of the franchise, so he's going to say what he wants to do. So he said that, he had a press conference where he was just like, yep, not doing it. Yeah, I don't want to be here, and I'm not playing. Like, he was really kind of shitty in the press conference.
What did they do?
Well, he said, quote, this is later on, now I know people in Vancouver are still pissed off at me for forcing a trade out of there. I damn near cried when I got taken by the Grizzlies at number 2. I was not about to go up to freezing-ass Canada so far away from my family where they were about to move the franchise anyway. He said, I'm sorry, but actually, I'm not even really sorry. Everybody sees the business of basketball now. That team was gone. The only thing I'm sorry about is that I went up there and gave probably the rudest press conference in NBA history before they traded me.
He went to Vancouver and
he was just like, no. So are you excited about signing? No, I'm not going to sign here. So
I don't
want to do it. So hopefully they'll trade me and then I can play. Like, it was just very...
That's awesome.
Not cool. So finally, August 27th, 1999, he forces a trade. If he's not going to play there, they got to get something. So you're never going to get your value, though, is the problem. So they end up, listen to this trade. Get your notebooks out, everybody, and you need like a translator, transcoder, secret decoder ring. You need like a sundial set a certain way by the ancient Mayans.
A glow-in-the-dark compass.
A lot going on here. 3-team trade, okay. The Grizzlies... Wow. Okay. Trade Steve, Tony Massenberg, who just makes me think of Massengill.
Yeah.
Just makes me think of Tony Douchebag.
Yeah.
To the Rockets. So they trade Douchebag and Francis to the Rockets, and the Rockets trade Antoine Carr, who was 100 by then. Remember him on the Jazz?
No.
Center. It looked like he was 198 in the finals.
Did he play for the Pacers too?
Maybe. He was around forever, Antoine Carr. This is like his 20th year in the league. Literally, like his 20th year in the league.
Jesus.
He was around in the early 80s, mid 80s. Michael Dickerson Anderson, I believe was a U of A guy,
and Eric's brother,
a fella Harrington, and Brent Price, and a 2003 number 1 draft pick to the Grizzlies. And then the Orlando Magic traded Don McClain and a 2001 draft pick to the Rockets, and and then the Grizzlies. Wow, there's more people in here.
How did they do this?
Lee Mayberry's involved in this, and Roderick Rhodes, Michael Smith go to the Magic. All these people get thrown up in the air.
These people are all playing. Might as well throw in Larry Bird, too.
Well, whenever there's huge trades like this, it's like shit old contracts that they're trying to dump. They throw in like, here's one player and a dumpy contract, and just crap, basically, to make the caps work and everything. It's weird. So in the end, he ends up on the Rockets anyway. Steve Francis ends up on the Houston Rockets, which he's thrilled about because he played college ball down there. So to him, that's his second home, and he's excited about it. He said, this is funny here. I remember this one moment after the draft. I was just sitting at the kitchen table at my stepdad's house looking at $80,000 in cash. Why? Number one, why? Why do you have 80? Why did you say I need all that cash to sit there? He said, just sitting there for playing ball. It didn't make sense. My little sister was 10 years old. The first thing I did was buy her a computer, one of those big compact Presario joints. Wow. That's a 1999 reference if I've ever fucking heard one. A compact Presario. Holy shit.
Was bad.
Have an Intel Pentium 2 processor in it? Holy fuck.
Then she ruined it with Napster.
Wow. Oh, fuck. 2 years later, Napster wouldn't even run on that thing. Are you kidding me?
Destroyed that computer.
Jesus. He said, and all I heard that whole summer was Britney Spears blasting out of that motherfucker day and night. God damn it. Why'd I buy her that? The second thing I did was buy my grandmother a house. Grandmother deserves a house. She put you, she's the one who gave you $400 in plane ticket and was your only stability when your dad's in prison and your mom's dead. So
she's the reason you didn't go to Vancouver, so you better take care of her.
I would say take care of her. He said about a week or so later, I started getting all these random phone calls from creditors. They're telling me I owe them money.
Uh-oh.
So he's like, what the fuck
Who
is this?
did it?
So I asked my brothers, what the hell are all these calls about? Because they're older. He's like, do you know what's up with that? Like, do you ever get calls from people? Are they scams or what? They said, quote, well, back in the day when we didn't have any money, Mom used to sign for stuff in our names. That's the only way we could get credit.
Oh, no.
And this is very common, very common in all walks of life. People will sign up for credit in their kids' names, in their fucking dogs' names, and everything to try to, people are trying to get by.
Sure.
I mean, if it's that or you don't have food that month, you're fuck it. You do what you have to do. So he said that way we could get credit. He said, man, I'm telling you, I had these people calling me like Stephen D. Francis. Well, we finally know who the fuck you are, buddy.
We've been looking for you for 21 years.
Yeah.
You got this light bill.
Oh, boy. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you about the gas bill from 1987. Now, we're going to talk about this. There's a magazine subscription from the late 70s.
Do you remember when you were a few months old and your mom walked in the house after a long day and turned the lights on? You owe us money for that.
Yeah, she said you'd pay for it. I don't know. You're ready to. Yeah. He said, quote, America, man, they're never going to forget.
No.
They'll find you. I was paying off credit card bills from when I was 8 years old. That's how far I came from.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he had to do it because his credit was fucked.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't even get
my life's fucked if I don't pay for these.
I have a number 2 overall draft pick fucking contract and I can't get a loan because my credit sucks. Wow. So that's brutal. 99 2000.
I ate goldfish when I was 5.
Because I wanted to do my homework in the light when I was 7. So 99 2000. He's on Houston, and this is a team that's got some veterans. This is a scary team to walk onto if you're a kid. Charles Barkley and Akeem Olajuwon are the leaders of the team. So right away, these are 2 Hall of Fame legend. Olympic gold winning fucking
tough sons of bitches,
just
too.
legends. I mean, they're known for being mentally pretty goddamn tough too.
Is he competing with Mario Elie and Kenny Smith for?
No. This is after that. This is Kelvin Cato's on the team. Bryce Drew is a point guard. There's not a lot of talent on this team. Moochie Norris is on their team as a point guard. Moochie Norris. I remember him. Christ Almighty. They still have Olajuwon and Barkley though, at least for this year. Yeah. Kenny Thomas, not Kenny Smith. No. So a little different there. That team goes 34-48. The 99-2000. This was,
wow.
It's over. The Drexler was gone and all that. All those,
ouch.
Ori and Ellie and all the Cassell, all those mid-90s championship. It's been disassembled by now. So yeah, they're not that good. They don't even make the playoffs that year at all. Now here's another thing from that playerstribune.com thing here. He talks about his first night out before his first NBA game. Yeah. And he went out with Sam Cassell, who was already in the league. By that time, was not on Houston anymore. He was now on
the Nets?
He was on Milwaukee.
Okay.
So he said, we were playing the Bucks down in Houston. That's awesome. And he knew I was about to take his ass to the cleaners. But Sam is from Baltimore and I'm from D.C., so this dude was trying to Jedi mind trick me into thinking he's doing me a favor, keeping me out until 6 a.m, giving me all this brotherly advice.
Yeah.
We weren't even partying, man. This was all part of his scam. We were out at some club drinking iced tea or whatever, and he's telling me about all about what I got to do to survive in the NBA. Says after a while, I'm like, bro, I think maybe I need to go. I'm getting tired. And he hits me with, nah, what you need to do is sit here and listen to me tell you how to deal with these groupies. This motherfucker has me hypnotized. Then around 5 a.m., the whole vibe changes. He goes, now he's telling me how he's going to whip my ass the next night. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. And he says, I'm telling you, Steve, I'm going to bust your sleepy ass. Rest up. He's just doing this to fuck with him, to keep him up all night so he could fucking have an edge on him.
Right.
Yeah, so he's a little tired. He says, we walk out of this club and the sun is up. I got to be at the arena in like 5 hours. I'm not even drunk. I'm not nothing. I just got Sam's bullshit ringing in my ears and I'm feeling like I've been up for 3 days. Says, man.
And all this iced tea caffeine.
Oh, yeah. He's probably
dehydrated.
Got the shits going on. Man, I'm going to get unloading some iced tea. He said, man, he came out that night and dropped 35 points on me. I was so tired in the first quarter, I thought I was about to pass out.
Unbelievable.
He said, remember now, I'm a punk rookie on a team with Charles Barkley and Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. These dudes are in the huddle looking at me like I'm not shit. He goes, Rudy T, who's the coach, Rudy Tomjanovich, is looking at me like, quote, we traded 15 motherfuckers to Vancouver for this? Which is hilarious. For this? This bullshit? That's fucking hilarious, man. Oh, Christ. He says, so I went like 4 for 13 and we lost. I see Sam after the game and he's like, don't forget, we're friends off the court, but on the court. And he said, I'm like, you slick motherfucker. Lesson learned, though. I know the game. Now I know the game, right? So, yeah, that's what...
what a story.
That's fucking hilarious. And that's very common for guys to try to play a rookie. And because you know tricks if you're a veteran.
Especially dudes that are from the same region together.
Yeah, you're trying to play them a little bit.
Pretend to be friends.
Yeah.
Bust their ass.
Yeah. He said also Gary Payton, he said he idolized Gary Payton, and he said he was on a plane to Seattle, and they sat him next to Hakeem Olajuwon on purpose there, just because Hakeem's he's the leader of the team. Right. And if you don't know who Hakeem Olajuwon is, first of all, he's 7'1",
right? So
he gets attention anyway. Right. Second of all, he's one of the greatest centers in the history of basketball. Yeah. He's incredible. So skill wise, he's got championships, and the guy's amazing. Third of all, he's got this real calm presence to him. Yeah. He's from Nigeria.
Very peaceful.
Very peaceful, very calm. Everything he says, he speaks very...
And his grasp of the English language ain't real tight.
It's not real great. And we have his album that somebody sent us. We do. It's up somewhere on our shelf there. We have his album.
Unbelievable.
The Dream there. So, Hakeem is just, he's one of those guys, very calm, very chill, very... seems like he's very at peace all the time. So young guys, it's kind of weird. But he said that, he knew what he was doing. He wanted me to learn. He said, we're about to take off. I'm sitting there with my big headphones on listening to Jay-Z. Hakeem is sitting there reading the Quran, not saying a word. He goes, then he gives me a look. You know how Dream is. He'll just look at you super wise, super calm. Every word that comes out of this man's mouth is like it's coming straight from God Almighty. I'm like, what's up, Dream? Dream says, Steve, you walk around dressed like a bus driver, he tells him. I say, come on, Dream. And he says, what are these construction shoes you have on? He says to him.
Timberland boots?
Timberland. He goes, these are Timberlands, man. Come on. What are these construction shoes that you have on?
Why are you paving at halftime?
That's what is going on here. Did you get a job like on the arena crew? You have to clean up after the game. Is that it? And then he says, Steve, let me help you. Come with me to my tailor, and we'll get you 10 suits, custom-made cashmere. He says, and he goes, come on, Dream. And he says, cashmere, Steve. Come with me, Steve. Come to my tailor. So he's like, okay.
Cashmere, Steve.
Yeah, he's like, it's fucking weird as shit. And then another time, he says he played with him because he was gone in 2 years, Akeem. He says he's sitting him on his plane. He's got Jay-Z blasting, and he says, Steve? And he says, yeah, Dream. He says, your music, what is that noise? It's like 2000.
Noise.
And so he says, come on, Dream. And Hakeem says, turn it off, Steve. I'm trying to concentrate on the word of God. And he says, shit, Dream. All right, fine. Turned it off. I just think that conversation is fucking hilarious.
I wish I'd have been there.
Over H to the Izzo in the fucking background with fucking... That's just weird. You know, fuck him, love him. What? Fuck him, love him.
What is
fuck
that
him,
noise?
leave him. What the fuck? Okay, big pimpin' indeed.
Yeah.
So 99-2000, Steve plays in 77 games and starts all 77 of them. So they threw him right into the fire as a point guard. Plays 36.1 minutes a game, too.
Whole game.
Not fucking around. 18 points a game, though. Not too shabby. 5.3 rebounds for a point guard. Pretty good. 6 point. That shows you're scrappy and you're getting in there. You got a lot of energy. 6.6 assists, 1.5 steals. Not too shabby. A couple of turnovers too, which is a problem, but he's a rookie point guard. What do you want? Also, he's in the dunk contest that year, and he comes in second only to Vince Carter, who had like one of the all-time great performances that year. So you remember Vince Carter used to have like an 8-foot vertical leap. It was ridiculous. He was ridiculous, Vince Carter.
He's small forward, wasn't he?
Yeah, Vince Carter, shooting guard, small forward, kind of. He was just nasty.
He could jump.
He was playing up until I think last year too.
Yesterday.
Literally
played in the last NBA game played this year.
I think he played this year. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. He's still.
His final shot was a 3-point. I watched some fucking. I saw the highlight for it. It was the last game played in the NBA season this year because of this fucking virus.
Now think about these guys were at this point now, and then Vince Carter was playing basketball like 2 days ago. Right. And think about the last 10 years from 2010 to 20. What happens to Steve Francis in a minute when we get there? And go, wow. Talk about diverging paths from 1 and 2 in the dunk competition.
And Vince kept going.
But Stevie this year not only comes in second, but he also wins Rookie of the Year.
He was Rookie of the Year. What the fuck?
18 points and 6.6 assists, 5.3 rebounds. That's Rookie of the Year time.
What have I missed?
It's crazy. So he wins Rookie of the Year. Also, his salary this year, $3,020,520.
Oh, rookies were getting paid.
Yeah, it's that number 2 overall pick.
Right.
Yeah, different
millions
different
already.
Oh, millions. And also, if that's not good enough, he's got a giant 40 by 60 foot mural of him.
What?
He didn't put it up.
Yeah.
Painted on a brick building across the street from the MCI Center in Washington, where where they play basketball there. And the mural has Steve dunking, and it says, and it reads, "Get activated," and it's a promotion for the Steve Francis Foundation, which is a charity that helps underprivileged youth. He's Rookie of the Year with millions of dollars, hanging out with Akeem Olajuwon, and he has a fucking 40 by 60 foot mural of him dunking in his hometown.
Yeah.
Do I need to say it?
That's great.
That's grace.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't fucking get any better than that.
Grace as fuck.
If he exploded in a factory accident right now, you'd go, wow, he lived quite a life. Good job. It's grace. So, that's grace. Not everybody loves him, though.
No.
Well, they might love him, but they have a funny way of showing it anyway. July 21st, 2000, he's getting a haircut. He's in New York, and this is off season. He's getting a haircut at Danny and Mel's salon in Harlem, right? So he's in a barbershop, and apparently at that point, three armed men came in to rob everybody in the barbershop there. I'm sure they heard, hey, Steve Francis is in here. That word gets around the neighborhood. Next thing you know, every stick-up guy in the neighborhood's like, oh, shit, Bob beat me there already. Fuck. There's probably 9 guys coming after him like, oh, shit, there's an NBA player there. That's the way it happens here. This is 8:30 p.m., not the middle of the night or anything. They come in, one guy has a gun. They force Steve and 2 other people into a back room and steals all their jewelry. And one of the men fires a warning shot into the air as they leave, and nobody got hurt or anything. But Steve had all his jewelry taken. Is the problem
Why are
there.
you carrying jewelry? Because it's 2000.
It's also not the last time he'll have his jewelry taken.
Oh,
no.
God, Steve.
Steve gets himself into some dumb shit. He really does.
I get it.
I have to say about Steve, he for some reason, it's weird because it's like while he's playing, he doesn't get into too much shit. Mm-hmm. He really doesn't. But then like the second he retires, he just turns into like a fucking moron. Like he forgot everything in the world. I don't know if he's just like, wait till you hear how much money he makes. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
But you know what? Street life, the way to keep Billy Bats from telling you to go get your shine box is to wear the flash shit and be like, I made it. You don't get to talk to me like that.
No, and it's all about showing.
Give me that.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's anywhere you want to show that you've done better. But you got to be careful where the fuck you're going. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be in Harlem at a place in a neighborhood that's not your neighborhood, right? At fucking 8:30 at night or anytime,
wearing that shit, that's nuts.
Jewelry, you got to be careful. You better have people with you or something. So. He says he talks about Gary Payton, which I think is funny here because Payton's known as one of the all-time best shit talkers in basketball. He's
also probably one of those
great defender too.
Best point guards also.
Great point guard, amazing defender. He says, I can't forget about Gary Payton. Listen, man, I've been around an unbelievable amount of shit talkers in my life. I've been around some dudes better than GP, Gary Payton, that is. Way more creative, way more sinister. But this dude was like a volume shooter of shit talking. He would not shut the hell up from the minute we got on the court. And like I said, I idolized him, so there was no other option. I had to kill his ass. He said that he had a good game against Gary Payton, and he said Payton was walking back in the locker room afterwards and said, quote, just wait, you punk bitch rookie. Wait till I come down to Houston. I'll get you, Steve Francis. So he goes, you rookie bitch motherfucker. I'll get you.
It's like a foul-mouthed Wicked Witch of the West.
That's what he is, yeah. I'll get you, Steve Francis, and your Nigerian dream, too.
What if she said shit like that to her?
And Tony douchebag also.
Cracker ass bitch in your red shoes. I'm gonna get you in that piece of shit rat ass dog of yours.
I would love. Let's show nasty fucking furry ass. Look at this. Watch that dog. He's nasty. You're nasty for keeping that. He got fleas and shit. You're holding him. Look at you. I would pay for the Wicked Witch of the West to be like a really pissed off at the end of her shift, like 45-year-old heavy set black lady DMV worker. That's what I want to be the Wicked Witch.
Sassy ass bitch.
Yeah. You want what now?
Your grimy ass feet out of there, bitch. You wearing them closed toes because you haven't had a fucking pedicure, you filthy ass bitch.
I would love him. I would love this woman to call her a filthy ass bitch. She'd be like, where them dwarfs at? She'd be like,
mixing up this
weird asses. Go run in there. I don't know. They had lollipop little motherfuckers. I don't know. Go in there and have them dance around, teach them songs and shit. I don't know. I got to do something with them. What else I got to do?
The Wiz never did that.
They're getting pretty good, though. Look at them. They're in sync, if nothing else.
The Wiz blew it.
Yeah, the Wiz blew it. They didn't have any. Yeah, they could have had that. See? Wrong. It would have been weird in the 30s, I admit. Yeah, it would have been a little strange for Judy Garland to pop up. But still, I would have loved it. I would have loved it.
I would have liked the movie a little more.
In the 30s, they would have thought it was, I don't know how it would have done there, but me as a child, I would have been like, hey, cool. It would be Marla Gibbs. There you go. That's what I would have liked it to be. I'd love it to be more. I love it to be Florence from the Jeffersons. That's who I want. Or 227. You take your pick. But I want Marla Gibbs in that role. Picture Marla Gibbs as, ooh, child, look at you. I would love that shit. So,
a chick from the Help Feeding Shit podcast.
Yeah.
She'd be good at it too.
Fucking great.
So good.
Would make a remake?
Yeah.
She's the
witch.
That's
our girl.
She's the, I want to see that. Yeah. She's the shit, man. I love it. Let's see, look on her face. She's like, eyes all big. I don't think so. So
I love her.
2000, 2001 on the Houston Rockets, or Nicole Byer, maybe. Stick her in there. So she'd be great.
I don't know. She's a little too nice and likable. I don't know.
No. She just has to be nice to those people because they're making fucked up ass cakes. And if she was mean, people would be mad at her. But she knows she gets off there and she's like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Can't put a fucking egg in a cake and make it better. Damn. Jesus, people are fucking stupid. I got to eat this shit in front of them and act like, oh, this is fun.
Point,
yeah, she's a comic, so she
gets through it all. Like
she's a comic.
Yeah, she sexually harasses guys on the show constantly.
That's allowed.
If it was a dude, it'd be crazy.
Imagine that. Imagine a heavy-set dude sitting there, just grab fucking every time.
Pulling over some hot paramedic.
Yeah, let's bring Katie in here. Katie?
I'm a little faint.
Ooh, look at her with that. Oh, that's right. Now put her right by me because, I'm going to be doing that. I like watching her walk away. Not allowed. Not allowed.
But Nicole Meyer
it's charming as fuck.
Day.
Yeah, it's charming. But she's a comic, so she's essentially hosting a show there. Right. So she walks off and she's like, ugh.
Fuck this job.
Fucking people. Jesus Christ.
If this didn't pay so well.
Oh, God damn it. I swear to God, if this didn't make my show sell out, I would fucking quit this shit tomorrow. Tomorrow.
How many tickets I just sold in Des Moines?
Fuck, that's all it is. Shit. So the next season, 45-37 for the Rockets for 2000-2001. So they turn it around a little bit. Slightly here, not much though. Stevie though starts 79 games that year, 39.9 minutes a game, so 40 minutes a game, 19.9 points a game,
all right,
20 points a game, not bad. 6.9 rebounds.
Is that right?
Yeah, 6.5 assists. So. That's pretty goddamn good. 1.8 steals. Yeah. That's good.
Super unselfish.
That's just nasty. Yeah. And he's scoring that much. And he's an all-star that year as well. And he makes $3,246,960.
Unbelievable.
Fuck, not too shabby, man.
$6 million in 2 years.
That's great. Fuck. September 27th, 2001, a tornado strikes the University of Maryland College Park campus, kills 2 students, and displaces about 700 kids from their dorms, and really fucks a bunch of shit up here. And Francis arranged to sponsor a big dinner for the displaced students and all this type of shit, and tried to be nice to them, basically. He said, I remember all these people here supporting me while I was a Maryland student, and this is just a small way that I can give back to those who've helped me. So he's trying. He's trying to be a good guy, and says he's a bad guy at this point. 2001-2002 season, not good for the Rockets, 28-54.
Fuck.
Yikes, that is fucking bad times.
Ugly.
That's a shit season. Rudy Tomjanovich is still there.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, we can fire him, but he did win those titles.
You can't fire that guy. You got to let him just fucking sink it.
There's certain sports towns, and they're non-major cities. Like not that Houston's not a major city, but it's not like New York or L.A. or one of those. Where if you win a title in one of these small places, you are king till you die.
Right.
You're just king for life, no matter. Yeah, I mean, in Dallas for a long time, Tom Landry sucked for 10 fucking years before Jerry Jones bought the team and fired him. But I mean, they didn't know how to fire that guy.
He's still the greatest man in the world to them.
That's what I'm saying.
And then Roger Staubach.
Yeah. That's how it works, though. It's these people can be coaches for life. They're almost like, it's like a little fiefdom, like a college coach wins a national championship and then he just lords over the whole area for a while. You're in some weird, you're a famous, world famous guy in a small town.
Right.
How weird college is like that. Like
the coach of North Carolina.
Yeah, you're in fucking Chapel Hill. It's not big.
No.
It's not. I mean, it's outside Raleigh, and some of these places are in like small towns where all it is the college.
Yeah.
And there's a person who's super famous that's like, that basically runs it. They're like a corrupt sheriff in the 30s in a small town in the South. Like, gonna put you on a chain gang. That's what it feels like.
It's Coach Cush. He didn't even fucking win.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. They went to the Rose Bowl once in fucking 20 years he was here or whatever. And so he's a hero that can choke kids until he gets fired. It's insane.
Crazy.
Fucking weird, dude. So December 16, 2001, during the season, Steve is injured. I mean, he wasn't injured that much that year, too. Like, he only missed 3 games that year. So, I'm sorry, the 2001-2002 season here. I apologize. But either way, he's injured this year. And December 16th, 2001, he is arrested here. He's driving at 5 a.m.
Oh, goddamn.
Which is never going to be a good sign. And this is not after a lot of iced tea, apparently, here. He got a little
Long Island iced teas?
Might have mixed a little Long Island in with his iced tea here. He, apparently he's released on bail and he didn't comment or anything like that. But yes, he's arrested. He's in a white Mercedes. He ran a red light at 4:48 a.m. They pulled him over and he slurred his words and admitted he'd been drinking. and taking painkillers for his injured ankle.
Oh, no.
So he's slurring his words. He's like, yeah, it's like pills and drinking and blah, blah, blah. So they're like, oh, well, that's probably not. And he's like stumbling too.
Yeah.
Like he's not in good shape.
Okay.
Pills and booze aren't a good mix.
Yeah,
well,
2001, they didn't take DUIs as serious as they do today either.
Yeah, not quite. And so he's a little wobbly, and he refused to take a breathalyzer test.
Yeah, that's a good move.
So I'm not going to do that. They said, okay, we'll do a sobriety, field sobriety. He failed that miserably, obviously.
Yeah.
He could barely stand up. So when he's arrested and when it goes to trial here, he ends up getting a bench trial, which is just the judge, no jury. So it comes to that. Now
Is the judge wearing a Rockets jersey?
He under his he had an Akeem jersey on under his deal there. Now during cross examination of the arresting officer, the Steve Francis's lawyer said that he was pointing out consistencies in this guy's testimony. He portrayed the cop as an overzealous cop who saw evidence of a crime when none existed. They said that Francis didn't run a red light because he was loaded and because he was all fucked up. He simply grew impatient with the long light at 4:48 in the morning because sometimes those lights, unless there's two cars, it won't trigger it and you'll sit there for an hour.
Right.
So he said he simply got tired of it and drove through the light when he saw nobody was coming and it was clearly safe.
Got it.
Which we've all done that in the middle of the night. We're like, I am not fucking sitting here anymore. I can't take it. There's no cars for a mile in any direction. I'm fucking going. So, he said they portrayed the cop as, quote, yet another African American man pulled over by a Southern cop, is the way they put it. And the sergeant ended up calling, basically said, afterwards, the police sergeant, after the trial, asked the lawyer if he could get an autograph for his son.
Oh, he's a fan.
So the sergeant was a fan, not the arresting officer. So they weren't even mad at Steve for calling them, saying they just pulled him over. I guess it's all in the game at that point in court. It's whatever. I gave you a ticket. You called me a racist. It's all in the game. That's what it is, though.
I gave you a ticket. You called me a Spurs fan. I get it.
I get it. I understand. You called me a Mavs fan. No worries. So, they said that the lawyer had the balls to say that his eyes were bloodshot because he had allergies. He had allergies, and that his ankle was he had an injured ankle from basketball. That was the reason why he couldn't. That was the reason why he couldn't do a field sobriety test. It was his injured ankle, not his lack of balance or anything like that. And they said he did have 4 drinks that evening. They do admit that, but he consumed what they called, quote, 4 massive meals that offset the effects of the alcohol. That night, he ate 4 meals.
How many times do you eat dinner?
Who eats 4 dinners?
And there's only 6'3" and not even that big.
Well, a couple of them came in the middle of the night. He's been drinking. So, because if he had 4
By
drinks,
5 a.m.
So at 3 a.m. he was drinking and eating whole meals, like multiple times. What the hell's going on there?
Your Honor, he has had 5 turkeys since 6 p.m.
Your Honor, he just sat back at Denny's and just said, "Keep it coming." It was just a weird thing.
He ordered a turkey and said, "Keep them coming."
Keep them coming. It's weird. It's very strange. So you can understand the effects of the alcohol, which the tryptophan also is what gave him the bloodshot eyes and the appearance of being intoxicated when really he was just slightly drowsy from a turkey hangover. You get how that is, Your Honor. They're saying this shit to a judge.
Yeah.
Okay?
Dismissed.
So the judge retires to his chambers for 10 minutes and then returns with the verdict. And he says, quote, "I've got reasonable doubt, so the defendant's not guilty."
Wow.
Bye, Steve. Have a good one. Not guilty. Are you kidding me?
Good luck tonight.
Okay. Sure.
I know you're playing GP. Get out there.
Check this guy's. Who's he betting on?
What? Wow.
He's got the Rockets and the over on this shit. It's because I got 2 bets. I got the Rockets on the one, and then I'm betting the over. And I need Stevie to score some points tonight. I'm not sure if the other team's going to make up the difference.
Wow.
So not guilty, even though he admits he had 4 drinks, couldn't walk, and admitted he drank and took painkillers. Try that next time you're out, everybody.
Just tell him you've been eating for 2 weeks straight.
Give that a shot. Yeah. Just tell them, look, I've had a bunch of drinks and painkillers tonight. cool, and then get them be arrested, and then see if you get away with it. Just as an social experiment.
I've had all of that, but I've also had one meal per drink.
Yeah, one meal
and
per
another
drink.
meal per pill.
I have a Long Island iced tea and an entire side of roast beef every. Mashed potatoes, gravy. I really do.
Yeah.
I do it up the whole time.
All
It's
the
really
sides, a la carte.
really good stuff. I do it up. So very, very interesting here.
That is impressive.
Not bad. On the court, though, he only played 57 games because of the ankle that year. He's an all-star, though, and he scores 21.6 points a game, 7 rebounds, 6.4 assists. This is fucking great.
He was really good.
Really good. Makes $3,473,520.
This is ridiculous.
Not bad. 2002, 2003, Houston, 43 and 39. Again, very mediocre. They're letting Tom Jonovich hold on again.
Yeah.
I feel like the league just feels bad for him because he got punched in the head in the 70s. They're like, we're just happy he's alive still. I mean, he really went through a tough time there. We're going to keep him on. It's like a thing like when the Rockets, like the league was like, look, we'll give you a few extra bucks from everybody else. If you just hire Rudy, we all feel bad for him. Just give him a little wink and, you can have somebody else call in plays. We don't care. Just he's the quote, the coach.
Yeah.
Cool.
But just in anybody's defense who does punch him, I'm pretty sure we could punch him from where we sit. That man has the biggest head on earth.
Oh, it's huge.
He has a Thanksgiving Day parade fucking head.
You've seen him get punched, right? In the 70s. That is very
man's
disturbing.
Head, though, is enormous.
It's a big fucking head.
You can hit
really
it
is.
at any point.
And when you see him in 70s basketball gear, it's even bigger because he's in like a tight tank top and nut hugger shorts. So you're like, what the fuck?
What the hell, Rudy?
His left nuts hanging out. Like, Rudy, this is not a good look for you.
A guy that's built like that being named Rudy doesn't fit either.
Rudy, he's not a handsome man either. He's not a handsome man.
He looks like
he's a mess.
He looks like if you put like air into the guy from Walter
Matthau.
Yeah, Walter Matthau's ass and just blew him up.
Filled in the Matthau have a bigger nose, but I see where you're going. Yeah, you fill in your jowls.
Just a big fat man. He's a big dude.
He's just a big head.
Not fat even.
He's not fat though. No.
Big.
He's an NBA player.
Yeah.
Christ, he's 6'7", I think.
It's a massive
big
man.
guy. So 2002-3 for Stevie, plays in 81 games. Not too shabby. 21 points a game, 6.2 rebounds, 6.2 assists, 1.2 steals, or 1.7 steals.
So good.
Doing well. $4,383,581 that year for old Stevie. So, it's going well for Steve.
Like $15 million already.
He's made a lot, and it's about to get a lot better for him because he's about to sign a new contract. His rookie deal's up, and it's rub your hands together because he's an all-star the last 2 years, and he is averaging over 20 points a game and over 6 rebounds and assists, and he's going to be a hot
$15 million is slumming it.
Well, let's find out here. So 2003-2004 with the Rockets, 45 and 37. Rudy's finally gone. They bring in Jeff Van Gundy to hang on to people's ankles while they fight. So they do make the playoffs that year, and they lose to the Lakers in 5 games. This is the Kobe Shaq Lakers, and you're going to get fucking stomped on by them because they just ran the league for 3 years or so. So that's the way that works. Now, Stevie is an all-star again this year, so 3 times in a row all-star. Plays in 79 games, averages 16.6 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 6.2 assists. This year, he makes $10,960,000. Wow.
He's almost doubled, isn't? Wow.
Imagine that.
Imagine $25 million.
Imagine how good that has to feel.
And 10 of it this year. That's so
crazy.
much money.
That's got to feel so good.
Yeah.
Every day you wake up, you got to be like, someone's paying me $10 million to be alive. This is crazy.
For the next 12 months.
How wild is that?
And then they have to pay me more.
So fucking weird.
If they want me to live for them.
For years they have to pay me. Even if I'm a dick or I suck, they still have to pay me. I could be terrible. I could come in and start shooting underhand granny shots. They'd still have to pay me $10 million for that. How awesome is that? It's anything I want. I could say, you know what? I've been thinking about it, and everyone in the league expects me to shoot with my right hand. I'm a lefty from now on. And for the next 3 years, I could try to practice being a lefty all on their dime.
$10 million.
They'd have to pay me. How great is that? Just clang, air balls, fucking.
Can we make the rim a square? I'm better at it.
I'm better. I have a take the roof off. I'll do it. God damn, never mind. Hold on. So speaking of the odd couple here, or Walter Matthau, this is when Yao Ming comes to the team.
Oh boy,
him and Yao Ming are a a hilarious combination.
That's
first of
the
all,
point guard center.
Yeah, and this is your Johnson Kareem here. It's your Magic Kareem, and it's fucking hilarious because they're very different looking, and it's very funny. And he loved Yao Ming. He loves him.
Really,
fucking loves him. I have a ton of quotes here.
I'll bet it's hilarious to him.
Oh,
he has so much fun.
He loves it. He loves people's reaction to the two of them hanging out. He just loves it. He says, "I think it's because of the energy of the city when me and Yao were together. That was my guy. When he came to Houston, there were we were some odd couple motherfuckers, man." A dude from China and a dude from DC, and it wasn't even the language that was the problem. That was just part of it. I'm partially deaf in my left ear, and Yao is partially deaf in his right ear, and we're trying to speak to one another in basic English. He's turning his head, huh? I'm turning my head, what? Huh? So even if they can hear each other, they're mixing it up because of the language, and then when they're getting it right, they can't hear each other anyway. So
this is the polar opposites of Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. One they just give the size to the other guy,
and they're doing who's on first over here. Like,
huh? What?
What? Who's on what? No, he what? Huh?
Yes. What? Huh?
No.
Yes. No.
Okay, I'll see you then. What?
Huh?
Huh?
Where?
Shit. Shit. So he said it was.
Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth?
Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Yao goes, huh? I understand him. I can't even hear him. What now? That would have added an extra layer of confusion to that movie.
If one was deaf.
If they were both a little deaf.
In opposite ears.
Yeah. So sometimes they don't understand each other. Sometimes they just can't hear each other. What? Can you not hear me, or you do not understand what I'm saying? No, I get the words, but what? I can't speak up.
It's so good. I'll bet they quoted Rush Hour back and forth a lot.
I would assume so. He's like, yeah, check out this Shanghai Night-looking motherfucker over here. So he said that it was ridiculous, but he was my man. He was the kindest, most respectful, smartest teammate I ever had. This dude had to do 15 interviews before shoot-around and then 15 interviews after shoot-around. Cameras following him everywhere he went on the road. It was crazy. And he would ask us, are you guys okay with the cameras? Does it bother you? Like, he was actually like polite enough he didn't want the team to be upset about it. Meanwhile, there's, every Chinese media outlet in the world is following him, and there's always a documentary crew, and the guy was a fucking worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah.
He said
that's what's going to happen too, because there aren't many Chinese. He was probably the only one at that time.
There's a lot of good NBA, Chinese basketball. Yeah, exactly. Jeremy Lin was, I think, just coming into the league at that time. He's not from China,
right?
That's they're just like, holy shit, that dude's Asianish. Right. Look at him. He looks Asian.
And there's over 1 billion people over there, and they got to send all their media.
And the NBA
cover him.
And the NBA has gotten, even before Yao, it was really blowing up in Asia. It was really becoming a huge deal.
Right.
Because they've had their own basketball league since the 50s over there, just like we had. They got their NBA the same time we did, pretty much.
But none of them could compete with these
guys. Well, yeah, they don't. Yeah, they're kind of a homogeneous society of, it's not quite the same. There's not a lot of Vince Carters in just growing up in China. Fucking jumping 8 feet in the air.
Even if they were athletic at 5'9", that's not going to compete.
Yeah, you know what? I'll fucking say it. Yeah, I'll say it right now. You can call me anything you want. In general, black people seem to be better athletes than Asians. Okay, there. Controversial, I know.
It's crazy.
Controversial.
James. How dare you?
Controversial.
How dare you? It's 2020. They're equal. James.
Jesus Christ. They have equal rights to be athletes as much as they want to be. But if you put your average black guy next to your average Asian guy and said, jump. One's going to probably satisfy you slightly more than the other is all we're getting
this ball through that rim.
Just saying.
On athleticism alone.
Just saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm paying one of them.
Yeah. We'll put the baseball scouts they're scouring the Dominican. China's got good base, but still they're like, we're
give
going
a little
down to the Dominican. Yeah, I'm going to go down there. It's just the way it is. It's just that there's, and whatever.
In most athletic fronts, also.
And there's a lot of great Asian athletes too.
I would venture to say all of them.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of great Asian athletes out there. We're saying on the average,
right?
This is true. That's why in the NBA, you could name the Asian guys that have ever played in the league.
All 4 of them.
You know what I mean? If I said, name all the black guys ever played in the NBA.
It's going to take a minute.
I better bring a cot and a fucking, and a lunch and dinner and 4 meals to have with my 4 drinks and everything else.
I've heard counting to 1,000,000 takes a long time.
It does. He said, back to Yao Ming here.
So good.
He's Yao Ming. He says that's the kind of person he was, polite with the cameras. He said he was my favorite teammate ever, hands down. You would not expect for some reason, but he was such a good player too. I still think about what could have been if Yao hadn't rushed back from his injuries too soon, and if they'd have just kept us together. It still haunts me. We'd have gone on some runs. Everybody in Houston knows it. But what did they do? They traded my ass to Orlando for Tracy McGrady.
That's how they got McGrady.
That's how they got McGrady in Houston for Steve Francis. The trade happens June 29th, 2004. It's Steve, Kelvin Cato, and Coutinho Mobley all go into the Magic for Reese Gaines. Wow, Juwan Howard's still around.
No kidding.
Tyrone Lue, who's a fucking coach now, and Tracy McGrady. Yeah. So there's a lot
Asian guy.
There you go, Tyrone Lue. There's some other stuff in there too.
That's a beige baby right there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. That's perfect example. A beige baby, great. It works out perfect. So 2004, 2005, he's on Orlando. This is a weird team. They got Stacey Augmon on the team, who was definitely at the end of his day.
Fucking Magic uniform?
Yeah, weird, right? Yeah. Doug Christie, fucking scared of his wife, running around there going, don't pass to me. My wife told me not to score too much tonight.
She'll fuck all of you.
Oh, she's going to fuck everybody. They also had Grant Hill, Dwight Howard, fucking Coutinho Mobley, like we said, Deshaun Stevenson, who I believe will have an episode himself. Turkaloo was on that team.
He's great.
Yeah, it's an interesting team they had there. But on the record, it doesn't quite show. They were 36-46 on the floor, fired their coach halfway through the year. Just not a good place to be traded to.
That's a slow team.
A mess. Yeah, it's a mess. He plays in 78 games, little Stevie does, 38.2 minutes a game, 21.3 points, because they probably said, fucking score. Someone needs to.
Scorer, isn't he?
5.8 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.4 steals. So he's doing his thing as much as he possibly can. Yeah. And they reward him handsomely for that. His contract this year, $12,330,000.
Holy
For
shit.
Stevie Ball game here. Not too shabby.
He has made so much money.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I am fucking impressed. Now, 2005, 2006, in the middle of that season, February 22nd, 2006, he's traded by the Magic to the Knicks now for Trevor Ariza and Penny Hardaway.
Okay.
So, that's when the Magic got Penny Hardaway back.
To sign him and then let him retire
at the end. And he was just his legs were shot.
Poor guy.
Penny was one of those guys that was he so fun to watch.
So good.
Oh, was he so good. So
fast.
Fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's 6'7". For a point guard. He was nasty. 6'7".
Dunks were creative and fun.
Yeah, I mean, he could play the shooting guard too. He could, his dunks, he was athletic. His passes were creative. He was unselfish as shit. He could shoot. Good. Fuck, he was good. He was
heartbreaking.
That was really rough to watch him get injured. And
one
just
of the most heartbreaking of any sport.
Yeah, him and Grant Hill are like the two, what could have been, because Grant Hill was great. Grant Hill figured it out how to still be a great player, but just not the same player he was pre-injuries. But Penny was just nowhere near the same player he was. Remember when the Suns had him?
Is that
it was
where
not
Grant
good.
Hill got hurt with Detroit?
Early on, in the first
Suns had
years.
both of them.
Oh, yeah. The Suns will pick up any old garbage you throw out. He was good at one point. What the hell?
Gugliotta, too.
I was going to say, there's a reason why Tom Gugliotta, they wanted Gugliotta.
Yeah.
They got him.
That's a big deal.
They signed him away from Washington and gave that guy like $80 million.
We'll pay it.
Sure, why not? Why do we suck for the next 20 years? I don't know.
Business.
Beginning of the end, sir. So he's on the Knicks in 2005, 2006. This bad times for the Knicks, let's just say. 23-59. This has been, I should say, bad time. It's been bad times for the Knicks for the last 20 years or so. And this was right in the middle of it here. Larry Brown was coaching this team. And next year it'll be Isaiah Thomas. Larry Brown will leave. And not good stuff. Trevor Ariza, Matt Barnes, Eddie Curry was still on this team. Channing Frye, Antonio Davis was still in the league at that point. Stephon Marbury was on that team.
Wow.
Yeah, he had Francis and Marbury.
Did Marbury go there after Phoenix?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think right before.
Right
I can't
before?
remember remember now.
That all went bad for him.
Fuck,
I'll bet he has a story, too, for us.
I'm sure he does. Yeah, Marbury. And Jalen and Malik Rose.
Wow.
Anybody named Rose will take. He's on the team. So not a good team, basically, for the Knicks here. Now, he ends up, he's midway through here. 2005, 2006 totals 14.4 points a game. Doesn't do well for the Knicks at all. Doesn't seem comfortable there. No, doesn't seem comfortable. Doesn't seem to fit in with what's going on. They don't play him. They start him half the time for the part of the season he's there. He does make $13.7 million, though. Whoa. So that'll make him feel slightly better, probably. 2006, 2007, he's with the Knicks again. This is Isaiah Thomas coaching. Jesus Christ. 33-49 as a team. Not much better here. Now, Nate Robinson is on this team.
Yep.
And this is pretty funny because Nate Robinson, he won a dunk contest.
He did.
Little tiny guy there. Nate says that when Robinson remembered a time when Robinson was 16 years old, he was at a basketball camp in Baltimore where Steve Francis was one of the guys attending and talking to the kids and shit, and asked to take a picture with him on the bench. So while they're teammates, Robinson brings the picture in and goes, "Yo,
look at this shit.
Check this shit out. I was 16 sitting next to you, and now I'm going to try to steal your job."
Right.
So funny, huh? He.
I won a dunk contest since here. Have you?
Pretty neat. And 2006, 2007, he only plays in 44 games and only starts 30. So Francis does 11.3 points a game, 3.6 rebounds, 3.9 assists. So his numbers have gone way down. In every area except for one.
What's that?
And that's salary. Because this year he makes $15,070,000.
Oh, boy.
$15 million.
How much you make, Nate?
Fuck me. That is ridiculous.
Wow.
It's 15. God damn, I can't wrap my head around.
In 2 years, he made over $25 million in New York City.
Fuck me.
I'll bet it's all
$15 million.
I'll bet it's all gone in rent.
Wow. He's just got a one bedroom.
Yeah.
It's not even like that nice.
No.
He's like, parking space? Shit, I'm not made of money. Take the damn subway. I didn't buy a parking space. God damn.
I didn't go to Harvard. Went to University of Maryland. Shit.
This is what's not made of money. So June 28, 2007, after the season, the Knicks trade him with Channing Frye to the Trailblazers for Dan Dickow, Fred Jones, and Zach Randolph, who will also have an episode.
Yeah.
Zach Randolph's been arrested a lot.
He's a gangster.
Oh, he's fucking awesome. We'll talk about him.
So badass.
So that's June 28th. July 11th, 2007, he's waived by the Trailblazers. This trade is just basically the Trailblazers have cap room. They don't want Francis, but they have cap room to eat his salary.
Digest it and
to just digest it. Exactly. Yep. So they're going to eat his salary and just get rid of him. So they waive him. July 20th, 2007, he signed as a free agent by Houston.
Really?
So the Rockets get him back. He didn't leave Houston in any acrimony. They just traded him for Tracy McGrady. Okay. It wasn't like he was like, "Get me the fuck out of here. Fuck this place. Trade me." He liked it there. He loved Houston. It was his home team. He liked them. So he signs with them. 2007, 2008 in Houston, 55-27. They've started to get their shit together at this point, finally, which is good. This is Rick Adelman's coaching now, so they've gone through some coaches, too. He's on his team, Rafer Alston, who we know. I'll skip to my Lou. That's a wild episode, by the way. Listen to that episode of Crime and Sports. Shane Battier's on this team. Yao Ming is still on this team. They still have Tracy McGrady and Bonzi Wells, some guys like that. He said, well, let's let him say it. When I went back to Houston in 2007, I was so happy to be home. But honestly, that's when everything really started to go downhill. Man, Rick Adelman, look, I swear I was working my ass off in practice. Ask Yao. He'll tell you. You won't understand him for shit. That's me. But he'll tell you.
Don't stand on his right side.
Yeah, and if you say, really? He'll go, what? He'll tell you. But Adelman was playing Luther Head and Aaron Brooks and Rafer Alston over me. No disrespect to those guys, but come on, man. I was getting did not plays, and I'd be sitting on the bench, and the crowd would still be chanting my name. I'd come home at night, sit out on my porch for hours, just in complete silence. No drinking, no music, no nothing. I'd sit out there till 1 o'clock in the morning, just thinking. He's having a bit of a...
You should be sitting out there counting your fucking
money.
Bro.
He's just not happy, though. He wants to be a star. He wants to play. He wants to fucking play, as anybody does.
Do you?
Yeah, you want to fucking play. If you're a player, you want to play. That's it. You want to play and be good.
There's a difference between
you got to have that. Well, him and you.
Yeah.
I didn't say me.
He's made millions. At this point,
I'm sitting with you. I'm not making shit.
Don't play me.
I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
For him, though, you have to be an NBA player, and especially to not just, let's say you're 6'11", and you came up in high school, and everybody thought you were hot shit, and you're on the AAU teams. You don't even have to want to play basketball. Right. People just move you through
They want you to play.
They move you through it, and you just, when you step on the court, you do those motions, and then they move you through everything else. He had to do his own shit. He had to, like, make it out of nothing. To have that level of drive and competition to go from where he was to actually get to the number 2 overall draft pick, you have to want to play.
Right.
Because he could have very easily just stopped playing when he was selling crack and been like, fuck it. What am I playing at the firehouse? Who gives a shit? But, I mean, he's got this thing about him that's very competitive. And the Rockets give him a Christmas present on December 23rd, 2008. He's traded by the Rockets with cash and a 2009 second-round draft pick to Memphis. You know who that is, right?
Yeah, that's
the Grizzlies. That's, guess what, asshole? Right. Guess where you get to go. Back there again for a 2011 second-round draft pick.
So they got nothing.
They got nothing. They gave him away for a second-round draft pick, which is nothing. And Houston didn't even get the draft pick because it was the top 55 protected. It was the way the trade works. Yeah. If one of the teams, if it was too good of a pick, then you don't get it. Okay. Basically, it had to be only if it was a shit pick.
Got it.
And it was a shit pick, so they didn't even get that pick. So they gave him away. Just gave him to the Grizzlies there. So Houston that year he only plays in 10 games. Steve does only for Houston. He will not play for the Grizzlies.
He refuses.
At the beginning or the end, he has not played a fucking game for the Grizzlies and will not play a game for the Grizzlies.
Okay.
That's awesome.
That's great.
The Grizzlies.
They took him twice,
and he snubbed them both times. He said, rather not even play than fucking play with you. I know you're not in Vancouver anymore.
I get it, yeah.
I just hate your stupid teal jerseys, and I'm not fucking playing there. Don't like them. You guys suck. So, yeah, he plays in 10 games that year, only 19.9 minutes, 5.5 points a game. Just, he's done at this point. So, overall, though, that'll be the end of his NBA career.
He's done.
He's done. Not done getting paid, but done.
What did he get paid for that season?
Oh, don't worry. We'll talk about it in a second here. Overall, though, he plays in 576 games, 18.1 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.5 steals for his career.
He scored almost 10,000 points over his career.
Not too fucking shabby. I can tell you exactly how many points. Oh, no, they don't have total points here, but that's okay. Yeah, he scored a shitload of points. Good for him. Not a bad career. This year, Houston has to pay him $2,430,000, but Portland pays him $15,070,000
to not play for them.
To not play for really anybody, for that matter.
It's $17 million for 5 games.
$17.5 million even to play in 10 games and start games. 3.
Unbelievable.
I could do that. Fucking amazing.
I'm available.
I don't even know what to say about that. I'm fucking. That's outrageous and awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
He said he didn't know what to do with himself though, because he said, "What the fuck?" Like, he's only 32, and he feels like he's got game left.
Yeah,
and he's like,
you're 32 and you can retire.
That's what I'm saying. He said, "I went from selling drugs on the corners in D.C. to the NBA in 4 years, and now it's over. It's a wrap at 32.
Yeah,
I knew it was the end, and that's some really, really hard shit to swallow. I don't care who you are."
Yes. Are you out of your fucking mind?
We're not. This isn't us. That's the thing. For us, we're like, awesome. I don't have to do anything anymore, and I have all this money. Yay, bye.
I did it.
For them, their whole life has been
hustle,
the team, going around, hanging out with the guys, getting in every night, shooting around, having reporters ask you questions, having people give a shit what you think.
Yeah.
If you have something to say, they print it, and it matters. Fucking like, people cheering for you, women liking you, all that. That's a lot to accept.
You know what else, James? This is 2007. He's about to get hit with a fucking recession.
That's the other thing, yeah. He's about to get everybody, him and everyone else about to get their fucking nuts stomped on with a hardcore recession here. So that's got to be depressing for him. But it's a little easier to swallow because 2008-2009 season, he doesn't even fucking play.
Yeah.
Does not play, but want to hear what he makes?
Oh, boy.
Okay, Memphis has to pay him for not playing him, for him never playing a game there. $2,636,550.
That's awesome.
Portland.
Yeah. Oh my God, they've got the rest of his contract?
Portland has to pay him this year $17,180,000.
Steve, why are you bitching, man?
He made $20 million for not even picking up a basketball. He could have never had a pair of sneakers on that entire year, and he made $20 million.
Wow.
Never mind a basketball. He could have never have had his dick away. He could have masturbated for 365 straight days. They gave him $20 million for it.
He could have been dunking pantsless on a fucking phone booth.
And they gave him like $150,000 a jerk for that season. It's not bad.
That is awesome.
That's fucking crazy. I don't even know.
Portland, I'm available.
Wow, that's amazing to me. That's so awesome. So
they
talk about
agreed
scoring.
to pay him $34 million for nothing, James.
For nothing, yeah. Just because they had it under the cap.
That's what the NBA has going on.
Well, that way, that year, the way they planned it is then this year, he's gone, and they have this huge cap space, and maybe they were looking at free agents that or that. It's all strategic now, rather than signing players that you think are good on the team.
That is awesome.
That's amazing. He's the beneficiary of some really fucking awesome fuzzy math. Where it's like, yeah,
he finessed the NBA, man.
Those are the cracks that you can fall into just being a roster guy, basically, but you're signed to a guaranteed deal. Someone's got to take that shit and pay it. So either way, the teams are like, this is our cap. We're going to pay it out every year anyway. So, might as well. They don't give a shit who they pay it.
Absorb it over there.
Imagine, though, if you were the guy writing that check like that. We're paying him that? He's not even here.
You guys realize you're paying me $120,000, right?
Can we get him to do a commercial or work the hot dog concession or sell programs or something?
Can we make him wash everybody's cars? What the fuck are we doing?
He wants to be on the court. Fine. He can be the guy that comes out with the little mop thing when someone falls down. He can just squeegee it up real quick and go so no one slips.
That's actually
and he'll wave. How you doing?
I mean,
hey, how you doing?
$17
Steve
million
Francis.
to clean up Shaq's sweat.
Yeah. Perfect. So he says at this point, from the time my mother passed away when I was 18 to the time I left the NBA, I never let my guard down. Not one single minute. I was like a soldier at war. I never exhaled. When the end came, it was almost like I was signing off. Like, well, that was a good run. Like, later, fuckers. Like, that was his whole life in his mind. Like, he's just like, well, what are you going to do now?
I see it, though. The bummer is that now he's faced with his mortality, and he's got to think about how, that's the end.
In the middle of
32.
Your mid-30s, less than your early 30s.
But he doesn't realize that he's got so much life to live.
Oh, there's so much.
Just go be
and you can do whatever you want with it.
To live what I want,
and
Steve.
He does. He has record labels. He starts up and all that shit. Oh, he does that. Are you kidding me?
Steve.
We'll talk about it. Don't worry. He says, look, you can think whatever the hell you want about Steve Francis. You can think that when I was in my prime, I was the most electric player to ever do it, or you can think that I wasn't shit. It really doesn't matter to me. But I was thinking about something the other day, about where I'm from and about how damn crazy it is that I ever played 1 minute in the NBA, and this is the only thing I want people to remember. Just that he made it. He fucking got there. That's the truth. And want to hear his career earnings?
Oh, my God, I don't.
Career money, $103,501,131.
What?
He made $100 million fucking dollars.
Unreal.
$100 million. Think about that. That's a lot of money.
At 32, you can't.
You have 100.
What he just said, though, if he would have just said those words to 32-year-old Steve Francis, he'd been like, "You're right, motherfucker. I ain't gonna do shit. I'm gonna go take. I probably still got $50 million in the bank.
I mean, wow.
He should.
He should have something. That's a lot of fucking money.
$100 million.
He's got $100 million. So what's he going to do? Relax and party, apparently, because on October 8th, 2010, Los Angeles International Airport Police.
The airport police
pick him up for public drunkenness at the airport.
Oh, my God.
Airport spokesman Albert Rodriguez said he was arrested at 11:30 p.m. He was intoxicated and unable to care for himself and combative toward the staff, too.
Do that.
To boot. Yeah. So you got that also.
Is that LAX or Burbank?
LAX.
Oh, my God.
The sheriff's department records show he posted $10,000 bail and was released at 3:30 in the morning. Go on, asshole. So that was stupid. So after this, he's just not done with basketball. No. He just feels it in his system. And I get it. You feel it, I think. And it's one of those things where guys get that itch. They want to do it again. So he comes back to basketball.
To the Ukraine?
To China.
Yeah.
He plays for the Beijing Ducks.
Oh, my God.
But it's a huge drop from the Rockets or the Knicks or even the Magic. And that's pretty low.
I can't believe they chose that as the mascot.
Beijing Ducks.
That is very stereotypical.
Yeah, they've had a few. They were like the Shojun or some shit before
Really?
that. I don't know what that is, but they've been around since the 50s, since this league came into existence. The Ducks.
Yeesh.
Switching their name a couple of times, but yeah, they're the Ducks. Steve plays in four games, averaging 3.4 minutes a game. And that's
What's
it.
the point?
He averages 0.5 points a game.
Jesus.
Less than a point.
Why do you have...
I don't know. I don't know if he went over there he thought. Remember when Marbury was playing over there and like doing really well and shit? Like, I don't know what he was thinking.
That's wild.
He just didn't like it, I don't think. It sounds like.
To go over there and play for a team that sounds like it's on the fucking payway menu.
It does. Yeah, it's a Panda Express combination plate.
Can I get chow mein? Can I get two sides of the Beijing duck?
I'll have the 3 item, but make 2 of them Beijing duck and 1 beef and broccoli. Obviously, yeah. 2 of the, yeah. Well, you know what? Never mind the beef and broccoli.
Chicken!
The orange chicken. That's exactly.
Mandarin chicken.
We'll go orange chicken and 2 Beijing ducks. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Yeah. No, fried rice.
Right.
Noodles are disgusting. So those ones that they have. So 2011 comes along here. He's got a record label at this point. All sorts of dumb shit he's bored.
God damn it.
If you're bored and you have that much money, it's like, what do I like? I like music.
No.
Okay, well, maybe I'll make music, I guess. Like, fuck. Well, it gets worse because he has his own song and a video, and it's...
He did it too?
Oh, my. But first of all, 2000... Don't worry, it's coming.
Okay.
2000... Oh, he runs the full gamut of asshole here. It's the gamut of asshole. 2011 here, Jesus Christ. A 20-year-old woman who is apparently signed to his record label... goes to the police claiming that he groped her through her clothing in May of 2010. She immediately went to the police after it happened and filed a complaint. It was just coming out in 2011. She says that she was signed by the record label. She said she had met Steve in an office to discuss her contract. Shauna Simeon is her name. And she says that the groping occurred while they were talking outside. Francis reached down and grabbed her between the legs.
Yeah.
Because
you grab him by the pussy.
Yeah, that's what he did. Well, that's what he did when he's like. I
guarantee somebody at TMZ was like, that Joe Francis is at it again.
He's at it again. Oh, who? Steve? Shit. All right. So she claims that she screamed for him to stop, and that's when a few of her friends, who she brought along just to feel comfortable, because she was going to some place to discuss a contract with some strange guy, and you should come in groups like that. You never know. She didn't know if it was like some sort of amateur porn thing or some shit. So she brought her friends, and I guess they rushed over to break things up, and they witnessed the whole thing as well. And she filed her police report. Apparently, a year later, no charges had been filed yet, and the case was still open.
Really?
So she came with witnesses saying he grabbed my pussy without my permission, and a bunch of people, and then he wouldn't stop grabbing my pussy, even though I said, hey, I'd like it if you'd stop grabbing my pussy, please. People had to rush over, break it up, so let's not charge him, though.
He grabbed a hold of that little bucket, wouldn't let go.
Once again, let's try that in your fucking everyday life. Don't try that, because I don't want any women getting groped. But think about how that would play out in your life. Man or woman. Think about if you grabbed somebody's genitalia, it wouldn't let go, had to be broken up by other people, and it was immediately reported to the police. Would you be arrested? Probably. So, yeah.
You know who could get away with that is the girl that hosts.
Yeah. She'd get away with that shit. Wesley, come here. Put that ball bag right in my hand, darling. Come on.
Bring me that trophy.
Ooh, look at him. He's fine. So the woman says she's frustrated that the case has not progressed and is considering a lawsuit against the DA's office for the delay and all that. Nothing ever comes of that, by the way. 2012, Stevie makes a music video.
Oh, boy.
It is fucking terrible. 12.
Not 1998.
No, not 1998. 2012, he makes a music video.
Not 1992 when Shaq was doing it.
No, that's kind of funny. He was a kid and it was funny. No, he's a retired
20 years later.
Dude, and the video, he sounds like he's trying to sound vaguely like Ja Rule, kind of a little bit.
He's got a growl.
He's got kind of a growly thing to him, which you're like, come on now. Come on, little Stevie Francis.
Oh, boy.
Also, the whole video is just about he's very rich. It's just him and some chick, and there's a lot of champagne, and they're like in like a private garage thing with like a private jet and like fancy cars. And it's like the Hypnotize video,
right?
But I don't know, 15 years too late, basically, is what it is. It's all it is.
Somebody saw the Big Pimpin' video on a yacht and was like, I could do it too.
I could do it too. And if they're on a plane, he's sitting there on a plane with a private, it's Kanye West's Instagram, except fucking
in a video.
And
music.
It's with a terrible song.
Right.
So it's Kanye West's Instagram. So it's a bad song, and it's just him trying to be rich in this shit. So now 2013, this is interesting. He's in a club, and this is brought to you by worldstar.com, by the way. And
really?
I swear to God, the YouTube video has the worldstar.com brand on it. So
great.
That's what this is. This is a video of him being choked out by NBA player Steven Jackson.
What?
You know Steven Jackson? He's much bigger than Steve Francis.
Man too.
He's a big, tough man.
It's a scary man.
You don't fuck with Steven Jackson.
No, you don't.
Apparently, there's some shit going on. They're on stage. This is the thing. All these basketball players and people, they go to like clubs and concerts. They have to get on stage too. Right? So they were on stage, and something was going on with Steven Jackson, and there ended up being a bit of a melee on the dance floor in the middle there. And so at some point in this, you just see Steven Jackson reach out and basically pick Steve Francis up by the fucking throat. Just grabs him by the throat, and he's like fucking holding him out there, and Francis can do nothing about it.
Did somebody scream World Star?
No, it was on World Star. But no, I'm sure they did, but you can't hear it.
Somebody did somewhere, but there was too many screams.
There's awful music going on in the background too, and he's getting choked. I'm like, this is a nightmare. People who've made that sounds terrible. People who've made $100 million should never be choked out while someone films it and terrible music plays. In public. Should never happen. Ever, 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 never. So, and the end of the video is he's getting the cops are talking to him during this whole thing after the melee.
Right.
They show that, and then you see the cops cuff Francis and take him out of the video range. So I don't hear that he got arrested there. I can't find an arrest for it, but they cuffed him and dragged his ass out of the club anyway for getting choked. So it's pretty sad, honestly.
That insult to injury. You're getting cuffed too?
Cuff you too, even though this giant man fucking choked you.
A scary individual. I'm pretty sure that man's got some shit happening behind the scenes.
Oh, definitely.
That guy is scary.
He is. He looks tough. So at this point, I found this interview that they did with a bunch of guys, LeVar Arrington, Deuce McAllister, Sharmba Mitchell, the fighter, and Steve Francis, all these different guys where they basically sit them down and they have like this, I don't know, talk about like how to deal with shit in the league and how is it to have money and what do people say to you, and to get like 4 different people's opinions on it, right? So one of the questions in this is, quote, when you first found out about Kobe, did it change anything for any of you in terms of how you deal with women and sex? They ask him that.
You know, when he did what he did.
Yeah, so Steve Francis says, quote, I just automatically thought she was lying, that he probably had sex with her, and then somebody was like, go tell the police.
Yeah.
And they said, well, how does that affect you? Does it worry you? And Francis said, it could happen to anyone. LeVar Arrington says, she's going to be on Ricky Lake and TV shows. Then McAllister says, she's already paid. And then Francis says, quote, it's like Monica Lewinsky, because things went so well for her.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that poor lady. And then this gets worse. Then Mitchell jumps in and says, she's going to get paid like the girl with Mike Tyson. Then Arrington said, Mike ain't raped those girls, man.
Oh.
And then Francis said, Mike's a loose cannon, though. And then Mitchell said, but if you knew the type of person Mike was, how he talks to females, he leaves nothing to the imagination. You know what's going on if you go back to that hotel room off the top. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Don't have that conversation.
Why are they doing this?
Don't
and
do
they taped this
in 2013.
Oh, no.
This is not from 1992.
No.
This is 2013. So this should be called Out of Touch Rich Guys.
Right.
Talk about
Out of touch rich guys who think that they're victims.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
Who are just fucking willy-nilly.
It just looks bad.
Right.
And even if everything they say is true, it doesn't sound good coming out of their mouth. So I'm not saying it is, and whatever.
No matter what they say, it's not going to come out.
It doesn't come out right here. So
when you're that rich and out of touch with reality, shut your fucking mouth.
And a lot of this, when you read these interviews, this interview, it's everything is like, wow, how out of touch with, how just I am rich does it get?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even care.
Entitlement.
It's just, yeah. So 2015 in March, Jesus Christ, this is some more sad shit.
Yeah.
He's on stage, Stevie is, at a club, at a concert of the Sauce Twins.
Who the fuck?
I have no idea. Houston rappers.
Okay.
Twins with a Z.
Oh, boy.
Sauce spelled regular.
Yep.
So Sauce Twins concert. He's on the stage when somebody runs up to him and tries to rip the chain off his neck. He's got a big, thick gold chain with a big diamond cross. You can see it in his music video. He's wearing it very prominently. Yeah, I think so. So the chain, though, doesn't break right away. He's got it reinforced or something.
Well, it's fat-ass fucking locks.
So he's just getting dragged
by his
collar. A chain around his neck up onto the stage, and then people he gets also stomped and kicked on while he's doing this too, while they're trying to get the chain off of him. He's
my God.
Stomped and kicked and shit while they try to take it from the back, so he's getting like he's hung.
Oh my God.
He's hung basically, and then the fucking chain finally came off and they ran away, and nobody called the cops, and that's that.
What?
So, but you think that's that? Nobody called the cops, but they're don't feel bad for Steve Francis, because it'll be fine according to Sauce Diddy. Sauce Diddy, who is the Sauce Twins manager. I mean, if Sauce Diddy's telling you things are going to be fine, I feel like they're going to be fine.
I trust the Sauce Twins, and then everybody around
Diddy.
them is the Sauce
this
something.
Is Sauce this one and Sauce that one. So Sauce Diddy said that the group intends to help Steve get his chain back because he's from there. Yeah. He said, quote, Steve is good people. He's going to get his chain back. I'm going to make sure of it one way or another. Must have been drunk when he was robbed, is what he said. Because at one point he was on the stage and was asked to get off the fucking stage because he was drunk and causing a fucking ruckus. So then he got his chain took. Yeah. And but like we said, Sauce Diddy is on the recovery project, so I feel like everything's going to be fine as long as Sauce Diddy's there. He's confused, let's just say. Yeah. A few years ago, he's a big guy, he's a big shot. Now he can't even wear a chain to a concert before getting it ripped off. He's making bad videos. He's getting called on grabbing people by the pussy. 5 years before that, he could have just grabbed the pussy and they'd be like, thank you, yay. In his mind,
you're never going to believe who grabbed my pussy.
Girls used to be excited when I grope them against their will. They used to be jacked about that shit, but now... Man, what do you do? He's like, I tried everything. I'm just going home. He's self-quarantining.
He's moving to Maryland?
No. To his house. He's just going to self-quarantine, damn it, in here. Yeah. Can't take it anymore. Right. He's like, this is ridiculous. And it's silly, though. But he never realized. He's always on the road. He's doing things. He's grabbing pussies. He's at clubs. He didn't realize that his house is just kind of fucked up. It's a little bit fucked up. And he has some problems, especially with the plumbing. And he needs some help. And he calls some help. And at his door to help him, it's Paul Calhoun, shit pipe enthusiast. And he says... Hey, how is it you come to arrive here, guy? All right, I got to tell you. Now, you know me. I go around a lot of houses. I see shit pipes. I see big shit pipes, small shit pipes. I see clogged ones. I see flowing shit pipes. There was a time back there a few years ago, you had the biggest, your shit pipes were like a 7-8 lane freeway, just flowing. 2 a.m, no rush hour.
Nothing clogging them up.
Nothing clogging them. I'm talking you could see from one end to the other. You could take a shit and you could see the ocean where it's going to end up. That's how clear your shit pipes were, pal. Right. They were fucking amazing. Now I look at this like a champagne bottle jammed in there.
There's a tree root running side to side.
Tree root. I see like some women's underwear that you stole off of there. I see there's like a chain log. I think I found your chick. I found where the sauce guy put your chain. The Sauce Diddy told me, I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but there's a chain in there. There's all sorts of fucking shit's happening. Your shit pipes are clogged, pals. Your life shit pipes are clogged up, and you need to clear them out. That's all I'm saying. Poof. And then a poof of PVC and shit. He's gone. Yeah. And Steve is very confused. And you know what? He says, I didn't realize my shit pipes were that clogged. Yeah. When someone tells you, they come to your door and they say, listen, pal, your shit pipes are clogged, okay? Your life pipes are overflowing with shit. You got to listen to them. And he takes everything in to heart, and then on November 22nd, 2016, he is pulled over in the middle of the night in Houston, going 88 and a 65. The police officer said he smelled like alcohol.
Yeah.
So they said, how about a sobriety test? And he said, no, I don't think so.
I don't want to.
No. Also,
I know how these work.
I don't think so. I think
I'll walk a straight line for you, and I've got a broken ankle.
I have some allergies and my ankle hurt. Okay.
I've had a lot of turkeys.
I've eaten so much tonight. You have no idea. I'm going to throw up just from the food, not even the booze. It's just going to be turkey. So he refuses the sobriety test. He's also verbally abusive as well. They search his car. They find an open bottle of Crown Royal in there.
Oh, no.
Can't drink that while you're driving.
Drinking and driving.
Well, he's just carried it around with him. Who knows if he had any of that or something else. But it's an open bottle of Crown Royal in your car, which I don't have in my car.
Post-2012.
A big bag of weed, almost 22 grams, which I might have in my car, but not 22 grams, and take that with me. That seems like too much. So, he's placed there. And this is Texas. They're not that fun with weed. They're just not that fun. So, not okay. And he, at that point, gets mad at the cops.
Yeah.
Gets a little mad at the cops. He's being placed into a squad car while they searched his vehicle, and he said he noticed officers looking at his big gold chain. He apparently got a new one. And at that point,
a little PTSD.
Yeah, they start looking at his chain, like looking at it. Yeah. And at that point, he shouts, "Now you're playing with fire, homie." Hey.
Stop eyeballing my chain.
I will grab the nearest pussy. Don't even tempt me. So, he's touchy about his chain, as you might imagine. Sauce Diddy came out of nowhere, though, and said, "Listen, Steve, it's all right. We'll take care of it." So then he said, quote, "Take a picture, play with that, watch what happens." I don't know what that means. Then he called the cops suckers and shouted, "Go ahead and lock me up," quote, "groupie ass motherfuckers, play with my chain, sucker."
Sucker MCs.
Apparently the guy picked his chain up. Yeah, right. Did that.
It's real.
Then he told the cops,
trying to call my bluff.
Call my shit. Then he told the cops loudly that the chain was worth $100 million.
Okay, that's not true.
I think he's trying to say this is a chain you get when you're worth $100 million, probably, but he's drunk. And he just goes, "The chain's $100 million. Don't touch it. I'm not drunk."
Yeah.
Fucking allergies.
The chain's on me. I'm worth $100 million, so it's worth $100 million.
Fuck this pollen.
I'm allergic to alcohol.
Yeah, that goes. So they told him he's being arrested for drunk driving, weed possession, and retaliation because he's yelling and screaming at them. So he said he's not drunk and he's not threatening anyone. And he just said, "Just take me to my grandmother's house and drop me off." And they went, No. Well, you know where we'll take you? The police station. He said, drop me off at my grandma's.
She lives in Maryland.
This ain't an Uber, motherfucker. It's not dropping you.
Drop me.
Yeah. Fuck is going on here? So, no.
This is so good.
Now, he says there's some other interesting shit because he's got a warrant from another state as well that we'll talk about here. But now his attorney said, because they charged him with retaliation, he said, quote, "People sometimes when they're under arrest, they will say some things they probably shouldn't say."
Yeah.
I don't know if he said anything here or whatever, but I know there was never any struggle. He never hit a police officer. There was nothing physically involved. Whether they had some words at the scene, apparently that's what the charge is, but I don't know. He says. So the judge gives a bond and gives him 30 days to turn himself in to authorities in Florida because he's wanted there as well on a robbery warrant or a burglary warrant. I apologize here, not robbery. Yes,
I can see how burglary can be misconstrued. Robbery, not so much.
Yes. So it's an odd thing from Florida here. Apparently, there's a warrant out for him for burglarizing a BMW outside of a clam restaurant in Florida. Okay, it was the Cortez Clam Factory.
Gross.
I'm not eating anywhere where they put the words clam and factory together. No. You can't factory make a clam. No. That just sounds disgusting. It sounds like they're trying, though.
Right.
And it stinks.
It sounds like they're left in a warm trough all day.
Yeah, we're trying. This is our best shot. You want to try them? So they apparently, in Florida, they heard that he got DUI in Houston, so they were trying to extradite him for a burglary down there. And the police report says it's from June 15th this happened of that year, 2016. Apparently, there's a 2003 BMW parked outside there. He went in, Francis did, and asked the bartender if he could give him a flashlight. He asked the bartender for a flashlight. Then he went up to the car and started stealing shit. He just stole a bunch of shit out of the car. He stole...
There's a car outside, and I can't see in it. Can you give me a flashlight?
I'll just take everything. He stole a makeup pouch. The fuck you stealing a makeup? You have $100 million, and you don't wear makeup.
It was Jeffree Star.
Fuck
Shit's
you
expensive.
doing? Wallet, gold wedding ring, gold diamond band, earrings, press credentials, and $100 in cash.
Why does Erin Andrews have her car
I
sitting
have
in the parking lot?
no idea why she's out there. I don't know.
Press credentials?
Her press credentials, $100. Total amount $7,252 in cash and goods.
Who leaves that much shit in their car?
Well, that's the gold wedding ring and a diamond bag.
Yeah,
It was like a I don't know who would leave your $3,000 engagement ring in your car.
doing?
That's stupid. I have no idea why you would do that, but apparently, I don't know if she was on the air or something. Who the fuck knows, and had to take her shit off.
Listen, you don't want to get that clam juice on them.
That's what happens in there. It'll eat it right up. So she described the burglary here. She said that she left her car door unlocked while she was eating at a restaurant, and Steve had asked the bartender for help in finding his keys. That's why he asked for a flashlight to find his keys. She said the bartender went out and got a flashlight and went outside and held the flashlight while Steve moved my seats back and forth, stripped the inside of my car of everything, and broke into my lockbox. She had him in a lockbox in her car. Apparently, broke into it. He got my diamond ring and he got my father's wedding band. He got my wallet, my cash. He stole my makeup bag, which is super fucking weird.
Yeah.
Very so the bartender essentially helped him because he said he was looking for his keys in the car.
Right.
Then, think that shit's weird. It gets weirder. 2 days after this shit happened, Steve walked into the Bradenton Police Department with a clear plastic bag with a bunch of her shit in it.
Yeah.
The shit that he stole. Hauled the fucking bag up, plunked him on the counter, and said, quote, "I just robbed somebody. Take me to jail. I'm turning myself in."
Why did he do this?
He wasn't even wanted yet. So they didn't arrest him because they had nothing in their system that he was wanted. So they're like, well, we don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You have a bag full of shit, but there has to be a crime to arrest you for, and we're not sure what that is yet. So I guess have a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks for the heads up. We'll use this in court later.
Holler at you when we get the paperwork ready.
So he did that. And police, he left without charging. So now they're going to charge him with felony burglary, and they want him extradited to Florida. Not great. I mean, how stupid are you?
Why?
I mean, what the fuck? First of all, how embarrassing is this if you're him? You've made $100 million. You're ransacking people's shit outside of a lousy clam restaurant. No.
Just a random woman.
Just some lady. He decided he was going to ransack the fucking car. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if he overheard her saying something or what the deal is, but I mean, Jesus Christ, how far can he fucking fall? I feel bad for her too. She's getting her shit robbed by Steve Francis. You don't expect an NBA All-Star to ransack your car and steal your dad's wedding band. It's just weird. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy, all of them, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Steve Francis, Director of Supply Chain Operations and Procurement in Phoenix, Arizona. I have Steve Francis, Chief Revenue Officer at InstaCluster in Seattle. I don't know what the fuck that is, but he's doing a good job. Steve Francis, Lab Systems Administrator and Quality Control Operations in San Diego. Steve Francis, pastor at Mountaintop Christian Fellowship in Phoenix, Arizona. And finally, Steve Francis, Partnership Marketing Account Coordinator at NASCAR in Daytona Beach, Florida.
NASCAR.
So this guy essentially lives in Florida, and he's reading in the paper that Steve Francis is robbing cars. He's like, no, I'm not.
And grabbing pussies.
No, I'm just fucking touting a stupid sport. I'm not...
Trying to make hillbillies have some nice Sunday.
Come on, man. Now, early 2017, he has court. By the way, he's been married this whole time for the last 11 years to a woman named Shelby here, and she's divorcing him now in 2017. In the divorce petition, she alleged that Steve has, quote, severe substance issues, and said and put a request in for the court to order him to undergo random drug and alcohol testing, and said that Steve has been in rehab, quote, prior to and during the divorce. Steve's been to rehab a few times, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So she had filed for divorce a year and a half ago. He will get some custody of the kids, like weekends, normal dad shit, subject to the substance abuse things here. The court also said that he's permanently prohibited from using drugs or alcohol within 12 hours before his time with his children. Not allowed to do that. And any violation, and the court may revoke his custody rights. He's been ordered to not drink or use anything before he gets his next visit, obviously. And the judge said, also hit him with a permanent injunction from abusing anything around his kids. He's also ordered to pay in child support. What do you think?
Oh boy, $20 million?
$2,137 a month in child support.
That's very reasonable.
That's excessively reasonable. They must be going after his current salary and not his
That's incredibly
net worth.
Affordable.
Because that's really less than a guy with $100 million should be paying for his kids. Wow. So not bad though. They settled all of their issues related to assets and property. I think she probably got a lot of that too.
He
So
took care of her.
This is just a little kid thing.
He had to.
So they had a nasty back and forth where she was calling him a fucking drug addict and he was calling her a whore, and
how much money does he have left, James?
That's the thing. We don't know.
Oh, God.
March 2017, he's in court for robbery, or burglary, we should say. He is accepted into a pretrial intervention program, which means he'll avoid prosecution if he completes certain conditions. He has to be under supervision for a year. During that time, he has to undergo drug and alcohol evaluations and can complete any recommended treatment. Also has to do 50 hours of community service, pay $7,300 fine, and apologize to the victim and stay away from her.
Okay.
I'm sorry I took your shit. My bad.
I'm going to stay very far away from you.
Yep.
Like several states.
Several states away. And the prosecutor said if he does all of this by the next year, they'll drop the charge.
Okay.
So there's that. Now, April 12th, 2017, a month later, he pleads guilty to misdemeanor driving while intoxicated from the Texas arrest where he abused the officers. He is sentenced to time served. You, sir, may serve time served. $1,000 fine, and the court records show that the felony retaliation charge for threatening an officer was dismissed if he pled guilty. Not bad. The judge during sentencing said that they took into account that Francis voluntarily entered an alcohol rehab program after his arrest and continues treatment. So,
go Rockets.
Go Rockets. 2017, he's up to be drafted in the Big 3 League.
Oh,
which is
he's doing that thing.
Ice Cube's 3-on-3 League, where that's the initial draft. It's got a bunch of old ball players on there.
So dumb.
It's not great.
No.
He doesn't get drafted. He goes, he's only 40.
The man's made $100 million.
Well, he's only 40.
Only 40 years old.
There's guys, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf got drafted.
That guy's like 46.
He had to be older than that. He was playing since he was in the league in 1990.
Yeah.
He was probably 50.
Probably.
I mean, he had to be 50 years old. He's in the league. He got drafted. Other guys got drafted who I'm like, wow, that dude's old as fuck. Francis is 40, and he want no part of his ass.
Nothing.
I think Rafer Alston ended up on there, though.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think he did, though. So he goes undrafted and doesn't play there. Now, December 4th, 2017, he's in a bit of a car accident.
Oh, no.
Apparently, he hit the back of a car and appeared to flag the guy down, like say, oh, come over here. And so he looked like the guy who Francis hit said that Francis looked like he was trying to get him to follow him off the freeway. Like, come over here, we'll pull off the freeway. However, when they pulled off the freeway, Francis never stopped.
Yeah.
So the guy followed him.
Sucker MC.
So the guy followed him all the way to his home in West Houston.
Yeah.
At the 600 block of Pfeiffer Road. Okay. So that's where he follows Steve to. Follows Francis there, where he starts taking pictures of Francis's car. Now, we know from the police situation, he doesn't like anyone taking stock of his shit.
No.
Don't look at my chain. Don't take pictures of my car. Very upset. So apparently, when he started taking the pictures of the car and asking for Steve's insurance information, Steve became agitated and slapped the guy's phone that he was taking pictures with out of his hand and then stomped on it. So he slapped the phone, started stomping on the phone. Like that helps any.
Like that makes your house not right here.
Yeah, like that makes him not know where you live and have a big dent in the back of his car that matches perfectly with the big dent in the front of your car. Not to mention also, the second he hit stop on those photos or videos, they didn't all go into a cloud immediately.
Right to the cloud.
Doesn't matter. That's pointless. So the police officer showed up, and by that time, Steve was in his house up on his balcony, addressing them like fucking Mussolini. And he refused to come down from his balcony to discuss the incident. He literally said, I'm not coming down.
I will do no such thing.
If you got a warrant, you can come up and get me, but otherwise I ain't coming down. So he's eventually just charged with failure to stop and give information, and that's it. The phone ended up only being worth $140. What the fuck kind of phone is this guy?
A flip phone?
This is 2017.
Yeah.
What kind of phone you got in your hand here?
It's worth $107.
I don't know, some Boost Mobile shit or something.
He's got a cricket phone?
Like a burner phone you get from like 7-Eleven maybe? I don't know. $140. So Francis ended up just being charged with misdemeanor mischief instead of, personal property destruction or any of that shit. So interesting. Now, March 8th, 2018, that's when that playerstribune.com article comes out.
Yeah.
Okay. That's his. Things have been tough, but I'm what? Good now.
Yeah.
I'm good now. Silver-haired, middle-aged white men going to prop me up to the top again, I'm sure, or something. Some shit like that. He's good. He says, at that point, he talks about it. He says, they ask him about, he's talking about his dark days and his, his problems. Because ever since he got out of the league, have you heard one good thing that's happened since I said he retired, other than he got $20 million one year? It's been all bad news.
Yeah, it has.
Terrible music videos, getting robbed, getting arrested.
He's just pissing money away.
He says, quote, I had some dark days, no question. And I know people were asking, what the hell happened to Steve Francis? But the hardest part was reading some bullshit on the internet saying that I was on crack. When I thought about my grandmother reading that or my kids reading that broke my heart. Listen, I sold crack when I was growing up. I'll own up to that, but I never in my life did I ever do crack. So what happened to Steve after my glory days? He said, quote, I was drinking heavily is what happened. And that can be just as bad. In the span of a few years, I lost basketball. I lost my whole identity. I lost my stepfather, who committed suicide, by the way.
Oh, no.
In this time period as well. So he said it was just, a fucked up ass time. It's just not going well for him. And I could get that. You lose your whole identity. Everyone's like, he's old. He's like 34.
I'm so mad that he committed suicide.
Yeah, his stepfather, that sucks, man.
I'm heartbroken.
And he had it hard too. It's hard, man. People have problems.
Steve should have taken care of him forever. It should have been such an easy life.
We don't know what his problems were.
I know, but I'm just saying.
And he had lost his wife.
Just on an outsider looking in, it should be so easy for the two of them.
But he committed suicide around 2010. So, I
there should have just been a lot of fishing going on, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's really tough. So, I could see being in a bad place. This is the athlete that loses everything and kind of just slides down because they're just, what else are they supposed to do? They don't have a plan for post athlete. They don't have it. They don't have it's hard to come up with that plan.
It is.
Most guys don't have that plan. Some guys have 5 businesses they're already set up that they're going to do, and a lot of guys going, what the fuck do I do? Right. Shit, I was expecting this to last a lot longer.
I don't know, man. A $3 million boat sounds nice.
It sounds great. He could buy a yacht and just sit on it.
I wouldn't even buy a yacht.
Awesome.
Just a boat, a big
amazing.
boat. You know what I mean?
Go sit off an island somewhere.
Florida has some really nice ones.
Nobody wants to go to Florida.
Yeah, but they're
you can
nice
go away
boats,
from Florida on the boats.
Yeah.
That's the good thing.
You get on it and you fucking go.
So March 18th, 2018, Burbank police. So he's been good now. The 10 days earlier, big article came out, his whole life story. He's good now. Everything's fine. March 18th, 2018, police get a report about a rowdy guest at a hotel bar in Burbank. Want to take any guesses on who that guest might be?
Is it the Dream?
It's a little Stevie Francis there. If it's not Kareem, it's not Akeem reading his Quran. I was mixing Akeem and Quran together. It's not him fucking reading the Quran. They said that, quote, he was under the influence to an extent that he posed a risk to his own safety and to the safety of others, and he was taken to jail for a citation and released around 7 a.m. in the morning with public intoxication.
Oh, no.
So sad. February 2019, he has to pay restitution for the 2017 car accident he got into with that guy there. He got his criminal charge related to the car crash dismissed after he paid the restitution. The records don't show the amount. It was part of the deal. They don't show the amount, which I really wanted to know how much he paid. Probably less than his monthly child support.
Yeah.
And then January 2020, right here, he traded a house. You're wondering how he's
trading things.
Well, he's just moving.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're wondering how he's doing. Let's find out here. Trading his lavish memorial mansion for a new 5,300 square foot property in Sugar Land, Texas. Not doing bad.
Moved to Sugar Land.
Yeah. While details of his suburban buyer scant, we've got a peek at his 10,780 square foot Central Houston home that hit the market at just under $5 million a week ago. So he's selling his $5 million house to move to another huge house in a nicer area.
Is Sugar Land expensive? Yeah.
No, I think it's just
think
more.
it's cheap.
I think it's this is central, so it's probably more spread out. That's what it is. So he's doing fine. Apparently, he's still got $5 million houses in his name.
Right.
So not too shabby.
Still got some cash.
But that was January 2020. So if it hasn't sold by now, he could be in fucking trouble.
James, we could buy it. You got some now and laters?
$40, yeah.
You got some now and laters and a topless...
Patreon.com/crimeinsports. Let's buy Steve Francis's house after all this settles down.
For a now and later and a topless phone booth.
We're going to start a fucking GoFundMe to buy his house just for our own amusement, all of us.
That's all it's worth.
Anybody in the crime and sports movement, you can stop by, check it out.
Come by anytime.
There's a crotch-grabbing booth where we have a mannequin set up, and you're living the life of Steve Francis. You go from getting drunk, you yell at cops in another booth, and you grab a mannequin by the pussy, and you go in the next booth and do this, and then you go to a next booth and it's a court where they tell you you're fine, don't worry about it, case dismissed, next. It's awesome.
The only problem with
next booth is a bank where they keep kissing your ass because you have $100 million in there.
The only problem is there's a shitload of Texas around it.
Lots of Texas. Just in the middle of a field somewhere. It's like Blazing Saddles. They got this. We're going to need to go back and get it. Somebody's going to have to go get a shitload of dimes. So there's that. So,
Steven.
That's what Steve's doing.
God damn it.
Can't get enough of Steve Francis. I'm sure he'll fuck up more. Don't worry. He seems in the peak of his fuckery.
Yeah. He's still young enough, James.
He's fucking 42 years old right now. He's got tons of time to fuck up.
Time and money.
I mean, think about that.
Away.
Now, he retired in 2009, and then what happened from 2009 to now? That was a lot of glut of shit.
Yeah.
In all that time, Vince Carter's still in the NBA.
Yeah.
Literally up till
money.
Last week, it's crazy. Last week, he was paying restitution last year, and Vince Carter was, trying to fucking...
threes.
Yeah. Was trying to get to the playoffs. It's a little bit different. If you can't get enough Steve Francis, there's jerseys of every team he played for all over eBay. A lot of stuff, Rockets ones, but they're there. Autographs, bobbleheads. There's too much to even go into. He played in the time where they made 5 million products of everybody who was a star. So you can find figures and things. They're all over the place. That, my friends, is Steve Francis.
Yes.
That is episode 201 of Crime and Sports. If you like that episode or any of our episodes, you know what you can do?
What?
Tell us about it. Not even us. Tell the world about it, because this shit is not for our egos. Get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon, and give us a review. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. Say you're following instructions. Say you're following directions. Say they have not grabbed my crotch ever and all the time that I've listened to this show. That's positive.
Yeah.
So do all of that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your crime and sports and small town murder needs. Listen to Small Town Murder, of course, every Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts. Get all your merchandise there. We have tons of stuff there. Also, you can do that. You can follow us on social media.
Yeah.
We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, or at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook. You can follow us there. Also, by the way, listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie with myself and Sarah Hunt, my wife, where we rip apart romantic comedies and tell you how horrible they are step by step, as well as you can, and if you want to be a hero of ours, a hero now, this I got to talk about, an absolute hero. You want to be a Patreon person. You want to be one of our producers who we're going to talk about in just a moment here. Very easy to do, and I'm going to tell you why you guys are so important in just a moment here. But very, very easy to do. You can go over to patreon.com/crimeinsports, make a donation, or go over to PayPal, and it's crimeinsports@gmail.com is the email you donate under. And thank you guys, honestly, for everything you do for us, because we're gonna put you just a quick inside thing without giving you any details. This is going to be fun. I love giving vague shit, vague details. Basically, we would like to do more stuff with crime and sports. This show is our favorite thing in the world. Now, we love Small Town Murder. It's fun, but we both like sports, and we both like fucking up, and we both like people who fuck up. This is our wheelhouse. If we could do this for the rest of our lives and make money off it, this would be the greatest thing in the world.
Oh, this show is great.
We just love this goddamn show. So we want to do a lot of fucking things about it. But it's hard to break into other formats. Full disclosure, we were talking about a TV show where we were kicking around with our agents. We had someone interested in it and everything like that. But in the end, they wanted basically a show that that basically where we're not the hosts.
Right. They like the idea, but they like to present it.
They like the name, the IP, and the fucking ready-made audience that comes with it, and that's what TV shows want to do. So when you talk to podcasts, and a lot of people say, "I'd love to see this TV show, I'd love to see that TV show," you might in the future, but it's going to be less and less now because so many podcasters have been fucked over by this system and made a shit TV show that they probably didn't have a whole lot of control over.
They didn't get to put any input in.
Exactly, because TV is based on a model where, you go to them. They have the carrot that you dangle because they have this distribution network, and they have a way to get your idea that no one knows about but you and the people you've told how to get that to everybody else, and then they can sell it to everybody for you, essentially. That's the deal. So you sell your soul, you sell your idea for no money, and you hope that people see you and see the show and are proud of whatever the fuck you're doing. It's not like that anymore.
No.
This is the audience comes with the show now. So they don't have any fucking power anymore. So if you if you see a popular podcast and you want a TV show out of it, understand what goes on behind the scenes. If they're not making a show, it's probably because they have some pride in what they do.
Right.
That's what it is. Because everybody with a decent audience has been talked to about TV shows. Yeah. It's just how fucking hard are they willing to take it in the ass?
Right. And how much are you willing to give away?
We're willing to take zero in the ass.
Zero in the ass.
Zero.
Not even the tip.
Not even the tip.
No.
And it's not even about money.
I know what it feels like.
We signed up to do this shit basically for nothing. Unless it was a runaway hit, we would have made not a fucking dime, but it doesn't matter because we wanted it to be a correct show.
The way we want it.
The only thing is we'll never do a show. If you ever see us with a TV show, know that we have all control over it, and it's our show because you're not going to see us on there.
Everything you hate about it is ours.
With some bullshit investigation, discovery, reenactment bullshit. We're not doing that shit. We're not going to bilk our listeners. No. So the reason why we don't have to do that is because of you guys.
Right.
That's because of you guys. We would have chased that carrot and went after the 2 dimes and a nickel that might have been down the road, but we don't fucking have to because we have such an amazing fucking audience.
I don't need 2 dimes and a nickel because my audience gave me a quarter.
That's what I'm saying right there. Quarter. If we said we need a quarter, they'd be like, here's 50 cents because they're fucking incredible. And thank you guys for always. That's why the show doesn't change. Mm-hmm. That's why the show won't change for as long as we're fucking doing it, as long as we're alive and doing these shows, because you guys tell us with your dollars that you like it just the fucking way it is.
Right.
So we're not going to let anybody do shit to it. And speaking of that, please, I need to be hit with the group of people that have done that for us this week and made it so we don't have to do shit we don't like to do and give it to them. Jimmie, hit me hard with it like you're snatching a chain of people off my neck.
This week's executive producers are John Buck, Tanya Volanek, Jordan Bennett, Alex Etched, Ryan Sargent donated both ways. Thank you, Ryan. Amy Spicer, Emmanuel Lemus, Simon Watts, Andrea Stanson, Raptor 1 to Raptor 2. Happy birthday. That's what she wanted to be said. Shannon Russell, Melissa Turner, Stan Bromley, Madison Hughes, Fartbox, not Madison Hughes' Fartbox, but Madison Hughes and Fartbox. Those are 2 different people.
Both of them? Now, it's one thing if you get Madison Hughes, but when you get Fartbox and together, then you got something.
David Baker, Jessica Smith, Wendy McGath's granddaughter turned 2, and Jason Christensen, who is so important to Jessica and their kiddo Joey. She's the one that was in the hospital. And then they have a son also. The 4 of them all listen to this.
Wow,
thank you so much for everything you guys do for us. Other producers this week are Thomas Smith, Matt Gary, Randy Zamore, Beth Castro, Michelle Pierce, Mike Jewell, Casey Campbell, Jenny Phillips, Patrick O'Kane, Hannah Kirk, Kendall Passmore, Kirsten Jewell, Philip Jensen, Amanda with no last name, Amy Schultz, Ryan Ming, Stephen Henry, George Danfield, no, that is Banfield, Gregory Desroker, Annette Konecki, no, Brett Schaefer, Braden Deputies, no, DeVries, Braden DeVries, okay, Sally Beats, Rebecca Sanchez, Ashley Hake, James Bonavita, D. DeVilliers, Ryan with no last name, Ashley Vio, Robin Anderson, Sarah Surridge, Sona Hutala, Carl Bittner, Peyton Meadows, Jackie Sukup, Andrew Matili, Marissa Cole, Hannah Hart, James Martyr, Stephen Rude, Jude Kendall, Gary Howard, Kevin Dobler, Tegan Boyko, Brooke Kale. She donated both ways. Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, Brooke, you can't go assuming shit. There's one in the NBA.
That's true.
Kingfisher Design, Liz Vasquez, Dominique Figueroa, Steve Schnell, and with no last name, Rob Padola, and all-around fan, Jory Reed, Janice Hill, Judy Jennings, Matthew Wint, Holly Glavinich, I think, Glavich,
Yeah.
Scott Barr, Hannah Simmons, Keegan with no last name, Thriller Jackson, Jesse Pitts, who, by the way, thank you so much, Jesse, for everything. Thanks for sticking through.
Yeah, I would say so.
Nashville
Thank you.
is a motherfucker right now,
Yeah,
man. Even
man.
with all this stuff happening, and it's way worse there. Brandon Munchbach, Munchbach, Emily Hyatt, Jeremy DePredo, Amanda Knight, John Hogan, Lori Bobskill, Aaron Edrington, Nicole with no last name, Josie Blake, Amanda Packard Wilkie, Ashley O'Connor, Amanda Murray, Jesus, Tyler Gwill, Nicole Watson, Tracy Renninger, Trey Volkanar. And moving on, there are you guys are so amazing.
So awesome to us.
Bobby
Thank
Freedom, Katie Wood, Aaron Wammack, Darcy Meyer, Daniela Ibarra, Madison Ray Hall, Diane Saladino, Rachel Ann with no last name, Teresa with no last name, Stone with no last name, Al, you're the best, Al.
Hey,
Alex
the best,
Taylor,
Al.
Alex Taylor, Don Brostek, Randy Barano. No, yep.
Sure.
Jonathan Gorostetta, Jennifer Swan, Rhiannon Garrett, Paul Buchanan, Jean Seguin, Stephen Heather, Lynn Thurston, don't know, Brandon Wood, Andrew Johnson, like the president, Chris, that I learned is the president, Christy Foster, Philippa Bettany, Alexis, believe it or not, I read these and then wrote them down.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've had two different ways.
Alexis Westerhouse, Rebecca Shekisk.
One of those.
Damian Blomley, Wicked Counselor, Lindsey Glenn, Dwayne Lerman, Nicole Auld, Foo Fam. That's a person. Jeremy Meadows, Edgar Cordera, Gracie Butterfield, Molly Chapman, Shelley Reynolds, Lana with no last name, Jennifer Boone. No, that's Bone. It's two N's. Don't look at me. Danielle Del Filippi. There's no reason I should have said that like that. Precious Benjamin, Agate, Alexandra Reed, Jonathan Huff, Chris Mallinger, Chris Hickey, Chris Wonderlay, Nick Rice, Michelle Mixel, Sean Jennings, Dan Lemond, Graciela Martinez, Maddie Paraguay, probably not Prangley, Haley Magger, Gary Smith, Randy Otis, Anna Evans, Joy Schwant, I think I said that, Caitlin Mitchell, Richard Mondragon, DL, no, that's Dr. Smith Aroa. Dr. Smith Aroa, that's one name. Raven Goad, Caitlin Mitchell, Jessica Jones, Christopher Miller, Chopper and Emily, Michael Queso? No? Kiso? What did I write? Sorry, Michael. Cass, no, it's probably not right. Jennifer Kolb, Josh Bronco, Emily Carter, Kimberly Thompson, Jennifer Caselin, Joyce Adams, Eric Raposo, Angela Sorensen, yeah, Angel Espinoza, Marissa Byrne, Kristen with no last name, Diane, Din Flansbury, no,
yes,
probably. No. Trent Tudor, Miranda Land.
Him, me, him, me. Sorry.
Frista Kyle Lamke. Krista, not Frista. Why would I say Frista?
Krista's more likely.
Robin Mosop, Benjamin Henderson, Emily Brewster. Here we go. Jackie Bay, Kiki. I think that's Kiki. Kikki? Yeah.
Yeah,
Kiki. Probably.
Kiki.
Emily Peters, Samantha, not Samantha.
Hey, Samantha, how you doing?
Samantha
wow,
Bivens.
Poor Samantha.
Coleman Bassity. Cassidy? Oh, it's a C.
Oh.
Shannon Grimm, Megan Skinner, Zach Jeske, Ricky Spomenor. No.
Those are not close to each other.
I don't know what I did. Emily Sullen, Stephen Beeston. God damn it. Reverend Doc John Karpesh. He's a reverend doctor. Amanda Bauerschmidt. Jennifer Bigelow. Jim Kirk. Evan Henderson. Sarah Catherine Naila Crawford, Felicia Starr. I think my voice goes higher when I don't know.
Yeah,
Heather Carson, Jennifer Rogers, Gerstevon Kempin. No. Robert Schwartz, Carrie Grocery. No, Gogarty. That's gross.
Like Gogurt? Why?
Yes, Gogarty.
Please don't be Gogarty.
Carrie Rose.
Please don't.
Mike Ingram, Casey Cruz, Joyce Ridzik, Sarah Wedley, Jordan with no last name, Annalise with no last name, Jessica with no last name, Anna with no last name, Josh Ortiz Fisher, Susan Bellamy, Kiva Hartfield, Lauren, what is this? With no last name. She would like a shout out, but she didn't give a last name.
Lauren!
She was wondering, how do I get my name in there, as she donated,
Lauren.
and then didn't give us a last name. Lauren. We've said it.
Hey. Hi, Lauren.
Michael Leffley, Jonathan Barber, Joanne Gilbert, Michael Duarte, Andy Smith, Jenny O, like the meat, Stephanie Garrison, Troy Lindsay, Ashley Dridgenberg, Brett with no last name, Eileen Ocachella, Jamie London, Brett with no last name, James Markham, William Carsey, I said that, Carlos Calwood, I don't know what that is. Aaron Bluey, Michael Chumley, Robin with no last name, Shannon Kinney, Jenna with no last name, Kevin Van Dorn, or Dern, Danny Cave, Devon or Devon Stewart.
Something.
Listen, I had two friends, and
I've had Devons and Devons.
Yeah, there was a black kid and a white kid in the same class. One named Devon, one named Devon, and I always fucked it up.
I could tell you which is which, probably.
I always mixed it up. I'd be like, Devon. He's like, come on, man.
I was going to say.
Abby Anderson, Spencer Klein, Carl Anderson, Brandy Foster, Kelly Schmidt, Tara Pratt, Thomas Bryan, Rick Brandt, Amber Scarlett Horbeast Lane, Cameron Mitchell, Brenda with no last name, EPK, Sayaka
Electronic press kit.
Yep.
Cool.
Probably. Sayaka Matasara?
Sweet.
Matsukawa. That's it.
Awesome.
Just slow down, Whisman. Christina Cobb, I think. Josh Puckerbrush. Kimberly with no last name. Barbara Miller. Jen Harrington. Colt or K-A-L? Kate. That's what that is. K-A-I-T.
Oh,
See
wow.
how that works?
Hey,
Courtney Diziak. Blanca Singh. Morgan Rocky, Austin Van Vleck, Sarah Felix, Ryan Felice Stewart, Joanna Dennis, and home stretch.
My goodness.
Here we go. You ready? I'm going to do this really fast. Sarah Wedley, Mark with no last name, Kevin Koch, Eric with no last name, Jesse Johnson, Abby Anderson, Morgan Morrison, Ben Richards, Kristen Dion, Joey Piver, Nigodek, Michaela Smith, Erica Green, Nina Rosenfeld, Blackbird Tango, Ashlyn Dunalaga, Nikki Clark, Kathy Williams, Jackie Paulson, Sarah, no, that's Jason, Olseth, Daniela Ibarra, Lee Furlonger, Jeff Bowman, Megan Reba, Hope Rodriguez, Beth Grievenstein Flores, no, Natalie Meyer, Lorraine Cowell, no, Gene Ramsey, Adrian Jackson, Jonathan Clemens, Julie Miller, Stacey Elms, Meredith Miller, Beth Dester, Kelsey Neal, Diane Hasteldean's, no, it's Dylan Hazeltine's birthday. Happy birthday,
happy
Dylan.
Birthday.
That I called Diane. Ryan O'Connor, Chelsea Acamano, Chad Roberts, Penny Boyce, Christy Cottrell, Kim Blevins, and Drake. Thank you both. CGB, Donald O'Ryan, Christina Smith, Christy Knudsen, Michael Bollinger, Bethany Whitaker, Beth Dester, I said that already, Reed Polk, Courtney Zagicki, Sean Fury, Aaron with no last name, Ryan Stafford, that's an R, Renee McLeod, Edward Danielle Smith, Daniel, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Matt Newberg, Philip DeFludel, Adrian Tobias, Susie Egan, Blair Dunham, Rudolph Gold, Rachel Schultz, Tora Schkolklo, Tor Skavarka, Corinne Krause, Patrick Sharp, Zoe Bednasak, Aaron Clancy, Dana Stairs, and Tinas Yo. You guys, and all of our goddamn Patreon supporters, you guys are amazing, especially the ones that I don't know what the name is.
And I have to add this on to the shout-outs. You've heard Jimmie read.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of people say, like, for a bonus episode, you should do a thing where you guys switch places. That'd be really fun.
You don't want that.
I get what you're saying. I get that would be funny.
Some allure.
We have, one time Jimmie was going to be, I said, you read the copy for this ad, and it's a 1.5-minute ad, and it took him 7 minutes.
to not get it right.
And it was never all the way through. It wasn't like he got it in one take in 7 minutes. He finally got all the words out in 7 minutes. No, it's just not going to happen.
It'll take us a week to record this.
Thank you, everybody, from the bottom of our hearts. Honestly, man, we could not be more appreciative for everything that you do for us. Honestly, we just went on that big long thing, but it doesn't even come close to it. We have sat and literally just said, God, thank fucking God for our audience. And this is why we'll never betray you, and we'll always be on your side, because you guys have our backs, and you're who we're loyal to. So thank you for everything like that. And Jimmie, what if they wanted to thank you? How could they do that?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter and Instagram. That's where I'm at now. Where can they find you? You
can find me at Jimmie P is Funny, or just copy and paste my name from the show description on there and do that. Lots of bonus stuff coming up the next few weeks. Right. Get on that. We're going to just give you guys as much content as we can possibly put out. We know everybody's stuck and people are in weird times and it sucks, and we're going to try to help and make it a little bit fucking less stressful if we possibly can.
Like. We relate, and we share your burden and pain. This shit ain't easy.
It is not easy, so we've all made some sacrifices here. Our whole live show schedule went down the drain. That's kind of how we make our living, so it's kind of tough. So
getting emails talking about how does this date look, 2021, as a rescheduled date? Unacceptable.
No, so that's what we're trying. We're trying so hard on all this shit. So thank you guys for everything like that and everything you always do for us. And did you say your thing and I said my thing of where we're from? Whisman Sucks. I said it too.
That's where we're at.
Terrific. I'm more distracted by the other shit. Never mind. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.